Hokage hundreds of millions of rewards. Chapter 241-260. Chapter 241 _ intimidated and subdued without fighting. Sun hangs high above the bridge. Orochimaru in front of him. Yamato was thinking too. It's impossible for me to deal with Orochimaru alone, but if I ask Toki and the others to come out, my identity will be revealed. In this way, it is impossible to catch Kabuto. But if Kabuto and I join forces against Orochimaru, once we fight, I will definitely be exposed as I am not a puppet master. Right now, there are two options. First, hit Orochimaru and second, retreat. And while Yamato was still thinking about which option to choose, they all suddenly attacked him. Kacha. With a single blow from the chakra scalpel, Yamato's puppet Scarlet Tiger pierced through. It was also at the same moment that Yamato pulled away immediately. Yamato was extremely surprised at this time. He didn't expect Kabuto to shoot him. Is my identity revealed? No. Is it really? 040, as Shiyu said. Kabuto was turned against by that guy Orochimaru, so he turned against Sasori. Thinking of this, Yamato felt a little fortunate in his heart. If it wasn't for Shiyu's reminder just now, he wouldn't have been alert to Kabuto. Because of this, he is not injured now. And this scene also made Kabuto a little surprised. He did not expect Yamato to be able to avoid his attack at such a close distance. You know, even in a puppet. If he hadn't taken precautions in advance, he would have been scratched by his chakra scalpel. If he hadn't taken precautions in advance, his body would have been so strong that even my chakra scalpel couldn't cut it, right? It is said that puppet technique is not good at melee combat. At this moment, Kabuto is puzzled. And the next moment when Yamato pulled away, Orochimaru also shot. Open black lens bracket shimmering snake hands close black lens bracket. Next second. Yamato was directly wrapped by countless pythons, and if he didn't break free as soon as possible, he might be strangled to death. Their incomparable tacit understanding made Yamato believe Shiyu's guess more and more. But in the next instant, Yamato, who was wrapped tightly by the python, suddenly turned into a wooden man. Needless to say, he used Mokuden, wood-style, substitution technique, the moment he was entangled just now. After seeing Yamato's true face, Orochimaru knew at a glance that the former was not the real Sasori. Orochimaru said while looking at the puppet Scarlet Tiger, that had no function. This is open black lens bracket Mokuden, wood-style, transformation technique close black lens bracket. Are you that? At this moment, Orochimaru obviously recognizes Yamato's identity, who wears the open black lens bracket Konoha forehead protector close black lens bracket on his head and will cast open black lens bracket Mokuden, wood-style close black lens bracket. As only one such person in Konoha. And Kabuto looked at Yamato in front of him and couldn't help but ask, Master Orochimaru, this is Sasori's body, right? No. Orochimaru denied it, and then said, Kabuto, you have been his subordinate, why don't you know his true colors? He's always hiding in puppets, he's a forest guy. Kabuto, who was talking, also understood why Yamato avoided the attack just now. Since the latter is not Sasori, it makes sense to be vigilant against him. However, Kabuto overestimated Yamato. In fact, it was all reminded by Tokyo. However, Kabuto definitely doesn't know. Old doubts are lifted, but new ones come. Since the Yamato in front of him is not Sasori, then who is he and how does he know that he is here to meet Sasori? Also, why Sasori didn't show up? Could it be that Sasori noticed something and sent someone over to test it at this moment, who likes to think? Countless thoughts flashed through Kabuto's mind, but he never imagined that the real Sasori was dead. At this moment, Yamato also questioned. Kabuto, aren't you a spy sent by Akatsuki? Aren't you supposed to be controlled by Sasori's art all the time? Hee. Kabuto sneered, and then said, that technique was already lifted by Orochimaru-sama. Didn't you hear it just now? Orochimaru-sama has spent hundreds of experimental subjects in order to study this technique. Yamato, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, and then said solemnly, "You actually pretended to be caught in Sasori's art, and then betrayed him. Did you fall into Orochimaru's spell now?" "No. I just agree with the idea of Orochimaru-sama, that's all. It's my own will." After some words, Kabuto asked back, "By the way, who are you?" "I originally planned to kill Sasori here, but now you have disrupted the plan." Kabuto's voice just fell, and before Yamato could answer, Orochimaru was the first to speak. "Kabuto, I'll tell you more about him when I have time," Orochimaru said, and then said to Yamato, "You think it's already exposed, don't you plan to call out the two little mice in the back?" Hearing Orochimaru's words, Yamato was also slightly surprised. As expected of Sannin, he saw through it. "Ah no. 2, isn't it 3? Ah, it's 3 threes. I didn't expect the legendary 3 people to make mistakes, but in the current situation, I can only call Tokyo and the others to help Yamato." As he gestured for the next second, 3 sounds of breaking through the air followed. Shoo, 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 da, da, da. With the sound of the 3 landings, Tokiha 3 also appeared in Orochimaru's field of vision. But at this moment, Orochimaru was dumbfounded. Because he only perceived 2 people, but now there are 3. Other words, one of the 3 Shiyu 3 escaped his perception. Can this not make him stunned? At this time, he is not the only one who is stunned, no exception. He has followed Orochimaru for so long, and Orochimaru has only made one mistake, and that was almost 2 years ago in the first battle on the outskirts of Short Book Street. Fall. And the culprit at that time was Shiyu in front of him. He still had a fresh memory of the latter. Because he himself was disturbed by Shiyu before the first Chunin exam started. Later, when I came to Duan Book Street, I was almost killed by Shiyu. However, this time Shiyu appeared again. Therefore, at this time, there was an ominous premonition in his heart, and he always felt that something major would happen again. In his opinion, it should be Tokyo who escaped the slap in the face of Orochimaru. Faced with this fact, Orochimaru could only accept it. At this time, his eyes were also locked on Shiyu, and facing the latter, he had other ideas. He wanted to find Shiyu's container after he gained more power. You must know that he suffered a big loss when he and Shiyu had their first confrontation in the second Chunin exam. At that time, he knew Shiyu Master 04 Thor's art. He didn't tell anyone about this, because it was a shame. In the world like, Jident Magnet style, in the later, final selection. The end, he and Kabuto were almost killed by Tokyo when they fought against Jiraiya and Tsunade in Short Book Street. To this day, he still remembers the tragic state of open black lens bracket wand snake close black lens bracket. If the latter wasn't an extremely powerful psychic beast, he would probably have farted on the spot. Also therefore, he felt that he was not sure of winning Tokyo at the time, so he continued to choose Sasuke as the container. Now Shiyu is standing in front of him again, but he doesn't know how to make a choice because he doesn't know whether he can beat Shiyu now. Moreover, Shiyu escaped his perception just now and let this thought in his mind it got deeper and deeper. At this moment, the atmosphere is extremely quiet, and the needle drop can be heard. Chapter 242_Sasuke is here. Program starts. Seeing Orochimaru and the sudden dignified expression on his face, Yamato was also taken aback. But Orochimaru is a cage-level Sannin. What could make him look like this? Obviously, Yamato couldn't think of the reason at this time. Orochimaru-sama, what should I do now? Hearing Kabuto's question, Orochimaru pondered for a while, then said. Since we met, naturally we have to play. I'd love to know how far he has grown up. Even though Orochimaru was a little jealous of Shiyu, if he was allowed to retreat like this, he would be too worthless. After all, he's Sannin. So far, Orochimaru hasn't really been afraid of anyone except Itachi and that. I don't know the depths of pain. Although he knew that Master Shiyu had the art of Hiraishin, he had the upper hand in that fight, and it was only because he took it lightly that Shiyu took advantage. And in Short Book Street, he couldn't release all kinds of ninjutsu because of his disabled hands. Moreover, Shiyu still used his ultimate to sneak attack. Therefore, he wanted to try Shiyu's depth, but the person who tested this was not himself, but someone else. 16. He was looking forward to that person's performance. However, even if Orochimaru were to flee today, Tokyo would not let them go. Because the first task of the system's 5th reward is, kill Orochimaru. So no matter what, Orochimaru will fall here today. And Orochimaru's decision is in line with Shiyu's intention, otherwise, if the latter wants to escape, he will not dare to conclude that it can kill the latter 100% of the time. Because Orochimaru has Master's other strange escape ninjutsu attacks, he also doesn't know. Therefore, Shiyu must make an unexpected kill later. Because ordinary attacks are very effective in killing Orochimaru, Shiyu is well aware of this. Orochimaru being too conceited in the animation, it wouldn't have been sealed by Itachi's 10-fist sword. But having said that, he was right by following him today. Hearing Orochimaru's words, Kabuto also nodded. He was also a big help in Orochimaru's mouth. Except for the two of them present, only two knew the truth. Yamato, Naruto, and Sai, who heard the words, were all confused. Obviously they didn't know who Orochimaru was talking about when the three of them were confused. Orochimaru's voice sounded again. Come out. As Orochimaru's voice fell, a sound of breaking his body followed. Next up was another person beside Orochimaru, and a very handsome boy. White clothes, black trousers, purple rope belt, and a grass pheasant sword inserted in the back. The appearance of this person surprised Yamato and the three of them, especially Naruto. Yamato and Sai may not know each other, but he cannot come out. After a brief moment of astonishment, a word was spit out from Naruto's mouth. Sasuke. At this moment, Naruto suddenly had some words that Shiyu said. And at the moment of seeing Sasuke and Yamato didn't expect that Sasuke would follow Orochimaru. Wasn't the latter being taken away? This news is not a secret among the high-level Konoha. But what Yamato didn't expect was to be taken away by Orochimaru. Sasuke, who has been with Orochimaru for more than 2 years, is actually manipulating the original mission of their trip to capture the target. The second is to torture Sasuke's whereabouts. And the second point is just to pretend. The purpose is the same as before, otherwise other ninjas will be chilled. Even though it was Sasuke who was taken away for 2 years, and they still didn't give up. Looking at Tokyo, Orochimaru chuckled lightly. Sasuke, let's catch up with your comrade. That's what it means. Sasuke's cold voice sounded slowly, and his eyes fell on Tokyo and Naruto. Naruto, long time no see. But at the moment, Sasuke just greeted Naruto and didn't say hello to Tokyo. Is it because Sasuke didn't want it, or he forgot that it's actually neither? Because in the past 2 years, he and Tokyo have met a lot in private. Because of this, Shiyu also taught Sasuke a lot of things, including a very powerful trick. Open black lens bracket Raiden, Thunder style, Kirin close black lens bracket. And the reason why Sasuke came with Orochimaru and Kazuya today is also Tokyo's will. Been more than 2 years, and it's time for the undercover work to end. Hee, long time no see. Naruto laughed, and then asked, how is it? How has the past 2 years been? Okay. 2 simple words conveyed the bitterness of Sasuke. In the past 2 years, he had nothing to do except practice every day. However, this is also the path he chose. In order to defeat Itachi, he naturally has to work harder than anything else. If it wasn't for the occasional visit to him by Shiyu, his answer would definitely be, not good. Seeing Sasuke and Naruto chatting so hotly face to face, besides Tokyo, Sakai and Yamato, and Orochimaru, and they were all stunned. To Sai and Yamato, Sasuke doesn't sound like he was taken away. To Orochimaru and Kabuto, Sasuke doesn't look like he betrayed Konoha. Okay, let's reminisce. For now, let's execute the plan first. For Orochimaru 4, who were a bit confused at first, became even more confused after hearing what Shiyu said. Especially Sakai and Yamato, they are planning to press 040, I don't know. Naruto didn't know it originally, but the moment Sasuke appeared, he vaguely understood. Earlier Tokyo said that everything is up to the master, and he said that Sasuke would appear. All of this was the same as their agreement more than 2 years ago. Obviously, the time has come. Today, they are eradicating the scourge of Orochimaru. Sasuke. What are you doing? I'm not letting you chat. At this moment, Orochimaru was obviously also a little angry. No chat. Then why hug? Sasuke responded with a sound, and then said, Orochimaru, although I know that you are conspiring against me. But I still have to thank you for being my sparring partner for more than 2 years. Hearing Sasuke's words, Orochimaru was stunned for a moment. Next second, I saw that his brows were clenched, his eyes were falcons, as if he had guessed something. Sasuke, what do you mean by that? It means that from today, I don't plan to stay by your side. Sasuke didn't beat around the bush, but directly confessed. Now that his undercover program is over, there is no need to be a snake around Orochimaru. Although he had already guessed the answer, after it was confirmed, Orochimaru's eyes suddenly froze, and his face showed a stern look. Sasuke's answer is no doubt telling him that his plan has been destroyed. Chapter 243_Battle Orochimaru. One punch. Sasuke, you have to think about it. If you want to defeat Itachi, only I can help you. Orochimaru otherwise let his nearly 3 years of hard work go to waste and tried to persuade Sasuke to come back to him. The past 2 years, he has been trying his best to train Sasuke, so that he can get a more perfect container after 3 years. But now that he got such a result, how could he be reconciled? If it weren't for the 3-year limit of not reincarnated, he would have taken Sasuke away long ago. He has already figured it out. If Sasuke doesn't change his mind, he will do whatever it takes to get Sasuke back. Because Orochimaru knows that Itachi who wants to defeat must have Sharingan. Otherwise, there is no way to resist that powerful demonic illusion. However, Sasuke's answer was beyond his expectations. I'm sorry, I figured it out 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Orochimaru muttered and was stunned. He is not the only one who is confused, but also Sakai and Yamato, because they don't know the reason. Only Tsuyu and Naruto looked calm. Because this matter was planned by them more than 2 years ago. Seeing Orochimaru's confused look, Naruto was the first to speak. Orochimaru, you are stupid. To tell you the truth, Sasuke is the undercover agent we sent to you to find out about your research bases around the world. Hearing Naruto's words, Orochimaru's gaze couldn't help falling on Tokyo, who seemed to have guessed something. Shiyu, it's all your tricks, right? Nice. Shiyu affirmed, and immediately said, after I learned about your master's forbidden technique, I made this plan. There is a limit to this forbidden technique, and the interval between performances can be as long as 3 years. So, 2 years ago, we deliberately waited for you to be reincarnated before letting Sasuke go to your side. Now that we have mastered all the information about you in all parts of the country, Sasuke naturally does not need to continue to be an undercover agent. Now that the 3-year period is approaching, it is obviously impossible for us to keep Sasuke by your side. Also, haven't you ever wondered why Sasuke came with you today? Words, Orochimaru suddenly realized. He also felt a little curious before, because Sasuke offered to act with him for more than 2 years. Why is it uncharacteristically today? The so-called abnormality must have demons. Orochimaru is naturally vigilant. But Sasuke used the reason that Sasori is an organization of open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket, the purpose is to find out the whereabouts of Itachi from the mouth of the former. For this reason, it is excusable. Because the reason why Sasuke stayed by his side was to strengthen his strength, hoping to defeat Itachi one day. But what he didn't expect was that he was actually calculated. He has always calculated others in his life, but he did not expect to be calculated by others today. Moreover, it lasted for more than 2 years. What was even more irritating was that the person who calculated him turned out to be a teenage boy. It's the nastiest. At this moment, he was a little furious. He originally wanted Sasuke to try Shiyu's current depth, but he hadn't tried it yet, but the tester turned his back. Sakai and Yamato couldn't calm down when they heard the big news. This result obviously exceeded their expectations. At this moment, Yamato suddenly understood why Tokiyu reminded himself to be careful. It turned out that it was all part of Shiyu's plan. And Sakai finally understands what Tokiyu said before, it's all in the master. What does it mean? At this moment, the eyes of everyone looking at Shiyu changed. There was jealousy, anger, consternation, admiration, and admiration. Very good. Little devil, today I want to see how you have grown in the past 2 years. Shiyu was not afraid of Orochimaru's gauntlet. Exactly, I also want to see how strong the legendary Sannin really is. I'll show you. Hearing this, Shiyu said to Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto, Sasuke. This guy Kabuto will be handed over to you, and everything will be under the command of Captain Yamato. Good. No problem. After the two responded, Tokiyu's eyes fell on Orochimaru again. Then let's start. Hum. As soon as Orochimaru's cold hum came down, he realized that Tokiyu had disappeared in place. When he reappeared, a punch had already slammed into his chest. Touch. That kind of monster-like force, directly knocking Orochimaru away with one punch. At this time, Orochimaru's body was shot backwards like a cannonball, and it was not known how many trees were damaged in the middle. Boom! It finally smashed on one rock and stopped just now. Although Yamato, Kabuto and others don't know how Orochimaru is now, Tokiyu's punch alone has completely shocked them. Because with their eyesight, they couldn't see through when Tokiyu had shot just now, even Yamato, the elite Jonin, and Sasuke, who possessed Sharingan. All I can say is that Shiyu's speed is so fast that ultimate. It's beyond what the naked eye can capture. No way. Close range, Shiyu's speed can already reach the teleportation level of Paraishin's art, which is difficult for ordinary people to reflect. Unless it is already known that Shiyu has such an unpredictable speed, so take precautions before Shiyu makes a move. But how many people can do this kind of thing? Because you don't know where Shiyu will attack from, so there are two best ways. The first is to defend at all times. The second is to keep your distance. The first is that unless the strength of the breeding is particularly strong, make sure that you can definitely resist, or even withstand the opponent's attack. Otherwise, it is courting death. And it is undoubtedly the wisest choice to open the distance, because no matter how fast the speed is, as long as the distance is far enough, the time will be extended. In this way, there will be a slight reaction time. For the strong, this time is enough. Next. Tokiyu's voice disappeared again under the eyes of Naruto, Sasuke and others. Naruto and Sasuke are okay, because they already have some awareness of Tokiyu's power. Because in the second Chunin exam 2 years ago, Shiyu had a battle with him in Death Forest. At that time, Orochimaru would have taken advantage of it, let alone now. The most shocking ones were Yamato, Kabuto and Sai, even though it was a simple punch. Tokiyu's extraordinary strength. There are probably only 2 of the Konohas who can blow Orochimaru away with one punch. That's Tsunade and Sakura. It's just a strange power, but it's also part of the power. Ordinary ninjas can't take this punch at all, and are likely to lose their combat ability directly. As one of the Sannin, Jiraiya will have 6 ribs broken by Tsunade, left and right hand bones and various organs are damaged for no reason. Senses, the eyes of the Yamato 4 fell on them. There are 3 things to study when reading. Chapter 244 Rasengan Package, find out. Under the sun, in the forest. In a messy place, under a cracked boulder, there was a worrisome figure half kneeling. This figure is none other than Orochimaru, who was blown away by Shiyu earlier. At this time, the latter's clothes were ragged, and blood was overflowing from the corners of his mouth. Obviously, Shiyu's unexpected blow just now caused him a lot of damage. Although his body is as soft as a snake and can withstand a certain amount of force, he still has several broken ribs now. This is enough to prove how terrifying the power of Shiyu's punch is. Orochimaru did not reach out to wipe the blood from the corners of his mouth, but opened his mouth. Immediately after, a terrifying scene appeared, and I saw a pair of big hands stretched out from his end and slowly opened his mouth. Then a person emerged from it. It was Orochimaru himself. At this time, he looked no different from ordinary people, and the injury just now disappeared. Seen that the horror of this big snake flow substitute technique. I didn't expect that little devil to have such a strange power. It seems that the news is true. This kid really got Tsunade's guidance. To Orochimaru, there are only 2 people in the world with such power. The first is Tsunade of Open Black Lens Bracket Konoha Hidden Village Close Black Lens Bracket. The first ni is Open Black Lens Bracket 4th Generation Reikage I Close Black Lens Bracket of Open Black Lens Bracket Kumogakure Village Close Black Lens Bracket. As for Sakura, Orochimaru obviously does not know. However, what surprised Orochimaru was that Tokyo seemed to be stronger than Tsunade. If 040 is not the case, he will not use the Orochimaru substitute technique to avoid damage. There are 3 reasons for this. The first is the same as Orochimaru thought. Shiyu learned the subtle use of chakra from Tsunade. The second point is that today's Shiyu has the Jingmun physique of the 8 inner gates, and the power contained in his body far exceeds that of ordinary people. The third point is thunder body. Let your body go through the baptism of thunder and forge the strongest physique after thousands of trials. Chakra can make the body comparable to steel and iron bones. In a word, it is so scary. You must know that 3 Reikage is tied with Yahweh Ox Ghost by virtue of this move, and has the strongest spear and the strongest shield. Name. Shiyu made this trick into a great success. In fact, it is also a preparation for the future. After all, there are so many people waiting for him to pamper him. If he doesn't exercise his body a little better, he might not be able to bear it in the future. Shiyu did not seek to kill until the sky was dark and the earth and the sun were dark. Just don't gallop until it breaks down halfway, because at that time it is not only the body, but also the face. And just when Orochimaru was surprised, a figure appeared in front of him. The visitor was none other than Shiyu. Seeing Orochimaru intact, Shiyu was not surprised at all. He knew that it was obviously impossible to kill Orochimaru with just this punch. This is just his slack, an appetizer. How do you feel? Huh. Orochimaru snorted coldly, and then said, if you want to beat me, brute force alone will not work. Oh yes, Voice fell, and Tokyo rushed directly to Orochimaru. Bump, boom, boom. During the short fight, the Orochimaru color immediately faded. Because now he is actually suppressed by Shiyu frantically, not to mention fighting back, even resisting is quite difficult. The strength of each punch of Shiyu is the same, but he needs to rely on his own cell transfer to avoid damage. But still, he was injured again. Orochimaru, who sensed this, desperately resisted the blow, and then the next snake step performed ninjutsu with a very tricky posture. Open black lens bracket shimmering snake hand close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket. However, was directly strangled by Shiyu himself with open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket. Seeing this, Orochimaru also exclaimed. This is the trick of 4th generation. He didn't like open black lens bracket Namikaze Minato close black lens bracket, because without the appearance of the latter, open black lens bracket Sarutobi Hiruzen close black lens bracket at that time couldn't find anyone else who could be qualified for open black lens bracket Hokage close black lens bracket. To become open black lens bracket Hokage close black lens bracket, in addition to strength, you must have enough prestige. Needs everyone's approval, and fourth generation just broke into a famous place in the ninja world, and he who is named Yellow Flash has this qualification. In addition, he is Jiraiya's apprentice, and Sarutobi Hiruzen recommended. Everything went smoothly. As for open black lens bracket Uchiha Fugaku close black lens bracket. Although he is excellent, as the leader of the Uchiha clan, it is absolutely impossible for him to be selected as Hokage. Jiraiya taught you. You guessed it right. Shiyu replied, and then said, I'm giving you a reward, greater than Rasengan. Bang! The big ball Rasengan was hit in the front, and Orochimaru's body shot back like a spinning windmill. When Orochimaru was about to fall from the sky, Shiyu appeared right above it. It's not about speed, it's open black lens bracket Hiraishin close black lens bracket. Because at the moment when Orochimaru got open black lens bracket greater than Rasengan close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Hiraishin mark close black lens bracket has been planted on his body by Shiyu. The moment he saw Tokyu, Orochimaru spit out 2 words. Not good. Don't be nervous, I'll give you another reward. When the voice fell, Shiyu raised his palm quickly, and then an oversized Rasengan also condensed in his palm. Open black lens bracket super big ball Rasengan close black lens bracket. Meanwhile, Yamato and the others are done here. Facing the Sasuke 4-4, even with the strength of Jonin, it will not help. Because now he can't even beat Sasuke. Not to mention the elite Jonin like Yamato is eyeing him. Furthermore, even Sakai has the strength of a special Jonin. And Naruto is a little less, he is now at most Chunin's strength under the power of the immobile open black lens bracket Kyubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket. 1 tail state can reach the strength of Jonin. 2 tail state can reach the level of elite Jonin. 3 tail state is comparable to Kage level strength. As for 4 tail state, Naruto can't control it now. Once it is used, it will go berserk. The so-called 2 fists are invincible to 4 hands, it is really powerless to resist, and can only be captured by the 4 Sasuke 4 obediently. Then, their gazes were to look at the messy forest in the distance. I don't know what happened to Shiyu. Just as his voice fell, a loud noise entered their ears. Boom! The next second, the forest that looked crooked suddenly collapsed. Smoke billows, and the vegetation splashes. Seeing this, Yamato hurriedly said. Sai, you are watching Kabuto here. Naruto, Sasuke, the 3 of us are going to help Shiyu. Yamato was very worried at this time. It would be fine if Tokyu's opponent was an unknown junior, but the enemy is Orochimaru. Although Shiyu is very good, maybe he is stronger than him. But he has to be careful. Not to mention that Shiyu is Kakashi's student, he is now the captain and has an obligation to protect the safety of the team. Moreover, Shiyu's evil spirit talent is definitely the future of Konoha, and he can't let the latter slip up. Hearing this, Naruto and Sasuke also nodded. Although both of them believed in Shiyu's strength, they still went over to take a look. Immediately after, Yamato, Naruto and Sasuke ran quickly into the distance under the eyes of Kazuo Sakai. Seeing Yamato and the 3 of them disappearing from sight, Sakai slowly approached. There seems to be some attempt. Chapter 245-The Art of Hanging. Dumbfounded Orochimaru's attempt was not to do something bad to Kabuto, but a task that Danzo gave him. While Sai and Kabuto were talking, there was a pair of eyes watching here secretly. Because of the distance and the fact that the person can hide in the trees, both Sai and Kabuto were unaware. This person is not open black lens bracket absolute close black lens bracket, but Yamato's wooden clone. When Konoha was leaving, Tsunade had told Yamato to pay attention to the actions of the nearby and see what happened to the latter. Therefore, he deliberately left Sakai to guard just now. The purpose is to see if there is any problem with Sakai at the same time. Yamato's real body has arrived with Naruto and Sasuke to the place of the previous explosion. At this time, this place is in a mess, and it is devastated. There is a huge pit on the ground, and there are two figures in the deep. One person is standing, one person is lying down. The person lying on the ground is Orochimaru, and the person standing is naturally Tokiha. However, at this moment, Orochimaru can't move his lower body. But there was no so-called panic on his face, instead, there was a blood-boiling war intent. How many years have I not experienced such a battle? Little devil, you have successfully provoked my fighting spirit. Orochimaru said a word, and then opened his mouth, but this time he was not using the Orochimaru substitute technique. It's the open black lens bracket array of 10,000 snakes close black lens bracket. This technique can channel out countless snakes from the mouth and crawl out to attack the enemy, and the opponent can be buried alive among the snakes until they die. Next second, the densely packed little snakes piled up like a mountain, swept towards Shiyu like a torrent. Seeing this, Sasuke and the others who had just arrived were shocked. And Shiyu just let out a cold snort. Humph. Immediately afterwards, a yin seal was formed in his hand. Learn about the roast snake. When the voice fell, Shiyu spit out a flame. Open black lens bracket Kaden, fire style, majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation close black lens bracket. The flame expands rapidly in the next second, and the range is bigger than the piled up small snakes. An instant is to burn the blue of Orochimaru's array of 10,000 snakes, and it can be said to be neat and tidy. Seeing this scene, Yamato and the others were also shocked. Because it was the first time they saw Shiyu perform such a powerful Kaden fire style, it was too strong, it subverted their cognition of this one ninjutsu. You must know that open black lens bracket majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation close black lens bracket is only open black lens bracket close black lens bracket level ninjutsu, but in Tokiyu's hands it is comparable to open black lens bracket close black lens bracket level. Especially Sasuke, as a Uchiha family, no one knows open black lens bracket Kaden, fire style close black lens bracket better than him. At this moment, his rise is strong. They are still like this, and Orochimaru, who is the party, is naturally. No one knows the power of this Wanshiluji better than him, but even this powerful, spiritual technique is still not enough in Shiyu's eyes. I didn't expect this kid's Kaden fire style to be so powerful, even more exquisite than Itachi. To be so powerful at such a young age, if I don't suppress it, even if I get Sasuke's body in the future, it will take time to acquire the ability of Sharingan. But I'm afraid by then, the latter will be stronger. This was what Orochimaru was most worried about. In just over 2 years, Shiyu is strong enough to suppress him. If he is allowed to grow up, he will not have any chance of winning in the future. In other words, he wants to get Shiyu's body. It became more difficult, which was obviously not the result he wanted. It seems that I can only use that trick. Orochimaru's body has undergone soft body modification, which greatly enhances its flexibility and elasticity, although it is difficult for him to be injured by ordinary attacks. But after hitting open black lens bracket big ball Rasengan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket super big ball Rasengan close black lens bracket in a row, he couldn't bear it, so he used the snake body made by chakra to distance himself from Shiyu. Then, use the Orochimaru substitute technique again. Immediately after, a open black lens bracket grass pheasant sword close black lens bracket was also spit out from Orochimaru's mouth, and then stabbed Tokiha directly. Orochimaru itself is extremely fast, and with the addition of the grass pheasant sword, it can be extended indefinitely, making it even faster. Kai, grass pheasant sword penetrated Shiyu's chest directly, and Orochimaru was overjoyed when he saw it. However, before he could be happy, the next scene made him suddenly startled. I saw Shiyu kept walking towards him with his grass pheasant sword on his back, and although the blood was flowing from his chest, he didn't seem to feel any pain. Da, tick, one drop of blood every step of the way, looking strangely infiltrating. Rao Orochimaru, who saw the bloody scene, was also frightened. He was not afraid, but he couldn't figure out what was going on. Just when Orochimaru was about to make a move, he found that his body couldn't move. This scene was very familiar to him. Also had similar symptoms when he attacked Itachi. Open black lens bracket gold binding technique close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket shackles technique close black lens bracket. If this is the case, it can explain that the scene in front of you is an illusion. He was hit by demonic illusion. But what he couldn't understand is that shackles is a demonic illusion unique to sharing, and it is impossible for a person without this blood stain to become a master. And Shiyu is not only in the Uchiha family, he absolutely cannot have Sharingan. Furthermore, the latter did not transplant Sharingan like Kakashi did. Because the transplanted Sharingan cannot be closed, he is very clear about this. Because of this, he really couldn't understand how he got into the demonic illusion because his body has undergone constant transformation, and the general demonic illusion is useless to him at all, and he can even be immune to some demonic illusions. Just when he was so puzzled, the pupils of Shiyu's eyes, who were walking slowly towards him, suddenly changed. From black to Yuhi, there are also three black outlines surrounded by them. These eyes are all too familiar to him. That's why Orochimaru exclaimed for the first time. Sharingan, how is this possible? Orochimaru's words were full of doubts, and he obviously couldn't believe the fact. He felt that he was now in demonic illusion, which should have been caused by Tokiyu's changes to interfere with his mind. Nothing is impossible. As Shiyu's voice fell, the art of shackles was lifted, and Orochimaru also broke away from demonic illusion. Shiyu was not penetrated by his open black lens bracket grass pheasant sword close black lens bracket, and then stood in front of him unscathed. But this was not what shocked him the most. What shocked him the most was the pair of bloody eyes on Shiyu's face. Feeling the surrounding environment, Orochimaru was sure that it was reality at this time. This undoubtedly confirms that Tokiyu's open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket is true. In addition, the familiar feeling just now is exactly the same as that of the past, making Orochimaru have to believe the facts in front of him. Because of this, Orochimaru's eyes were full of surprise. He never imagined that Shiyu would also have Sharingan and possess the Sharingan he dreamed of. See, there are 3 things you need to do when you study. Chapter 246 The ultimate technique, the 8-headed snake appeared. Nothing is impossible. Tokiyu's words echoed in his mind, and in the next second, Orochimaru exploded completely. Shiyu, I'm not what I used to be. So, the same trick is useless for me. Voice fell, and Orochimaru's body, bound by the golden binding technique, suddenly wriggled strangely. Seeing this, Shiyu was too lazy to talk nonsense. Rasengan in his hand is condensed again, but the Rasengan at this time as Shiyu joined the nature transformation of wind attribute. Looking at the open black lens bracket Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket condensed in Tokiyu's hands, everyone was shocked. Sasuke and Yamato may not know the power of this ninjutsu, but they are capable of Tsunade, a powerful chakra. 2 of them have seen open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket. Although this form of open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket has not been seen before, it is definitely an upgraded version. There is no doubt about this. 040. They both don't know, but Orochimaru and Naruto know it. It's been a day or 2 that Naruto wanted to learn this trick, but unfortunately he couldn't release it perfectly. Because when he practiced this move, he almost lost his arm. Therefore, he had to stop. Originally, he went back and forth to Konoha and asked Tokiyu to teach him the method, but as soon as he came back, he started to perform missions one after another. Last time was Gaara, this time it was Sasuke. It was something he couldn't refuse. Naruto looked at the Rasenshuriken in Shiyu's hands, his eyes were full of envy, and he said, "If Orochimaru is hit, the battle is probably over." "Naruto, you know this ninjutsu?" Yamato asked. Naruto nodded, and then said, "When we went to find Grandma Tsunade together, we had a battle with Orochimaru in the short book street, and at that time Tokiyu came up with this trick." "What? It would have been 2 years ago." "It's still my own creation." Yamato was shocked, and then asked, "At that time, didn't you just graduate a few months ago?" Yamato was incomparably astonished in the words, and when it was rumored, Feather Demon was incomparable. But he didn't expect Shiyu to be so evil that he could start ninjutsu not long after he graduated. This is simply pervert. Compared with Yamato, Sasuke quickly accepts this fact. In his opinion, anything unrealistic can happen to Shiyu. Naruto and the others were shocked, and Orochimaru was shocked and terrified. Because of how powerful this move was at the beginning, he had already experienced it deeply. Since open black lens bracket wand snake close black lens bracket was hit by this move, he has been unable to channel the latter for more than half a year. Rasenshuriken in Yu's hand has been thrown out. Boo, boo, boo. According to this track, Orochimaru was hit. Because Orochimaru was still under the golden binding art, at this time, no matter how hard she tried to break free, it obviously took a while. However, Shiyu still underestimated Orochi. He didn't expect that the latter who was bound would still be able to perform the Orochi-like substitute technique. I have to say, it's not as strong as the hand seal. At the moment of breaking away from the golden binding technique, Orochimaru's palm immediately formed several seals. I saw his big hand slapped on the ground and drank it. Open black lens bracket triple Rashomon close black lens bracket. Next moment. Ground cracked, and 3 Rakshasa gates suddenly rose up, each with a different. The grimace of Senra's hell. Kai, Kai, Kai. But when open black lens bracket Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket came into contact with open black lens bracket Rashomon close black lens bracket, it made a harsh cutting sound. Bang! The first door is broken. Bang! The second door is broken. When it reached the third door, it was finally stopped, and the remaining energy exploded directly. The energy mask spreads out in all directions, covering a radius of dozens of meters. Its power is so terrifying. Even the Yamato 3-3, who are far apart, were shocked by life at this time. Especially Sasuke and Yamato who met for the first time. They knew that if they were hit by this ninjutsu, there would only be one result. That is, death. At this moment, Yamato finally believed in Shiyu's ability. It turned out that the one-on-one duel with Orochimaru was not pretending, but that he really had such an extraordinary ability. In short, Yamato felt that Tokiyu's strength was already above him. At this time, the eyes of the 3 of them were fixed on the place where the energy exploded. They were the first to know how Orochimaru stayed until the smoke and dust completely dissipated, and the scene of the exploded place also caught their eyes. There was a deep crater, but they did not see Orochimaru in the crater. If nothing else, the latter should have blocked the blow. I saw Orochimaru standing not far from the giant pit. Although he was safe and sound at this time, he had a solemn expression on his face. He knew that if he hadn't escaped in time and used the spiritual technique triple Rashomon, he would have been dead at this moment. This open black lens bracket Rasenshuriken close black lens bracket is sometimes used by feathers, and its power is comparable to the small open black lens bracket tailed beast bomb close black lens bracket. I haven't seen it for more than 2 years, this trick is even more terrifying. Orochimaru murmured, his gaze shifted from the giant pit to Shiyu, and then said. Looks like I can't hide my clumsiness anymore. Otherwise, I'll be planted in the hands of you little devil today. The voice of Orochimaru swelled up instantly, transforming into a white phosphorus giant python under the astonished eyes of Yamato and the others. But the matter didn't end there. Only a second head appeared on the body of the huge white phosphorus python. Double-headed snake. Naruto gave a startled cry. No, it's 3 pythons. Sasuke responded, because at this moment the white phosphorus Orochi had 3 heads. Next second, Yamato also made a sound. No, there should be more than 3 heads. Because at this moment, the 4th head has appeared on the white phosphorus snake, and the 5th head is slowly taking shape. 0.4 is followed by the 6th head and the 7th. The 8th. Until the head reaches the number of 88s, it is finally no longer produced. Seeing what Orochimaru has turned into, Sasuke and the others, except Tokiha, were extremely surprised. Looking at the 8 white phosphorus snakes in front of him, Shiyu also murmured. Open black lens bracket. The art of Hachiki close black lens bracket. This technique is extremely powerful, and Orochimaru's master used this technique for a month. Akichi Orochi has a body that exceeds the body of Wand Snake, with vivid white phosphorus on the snake's body, and Kiba on the snake's head. Orochimaru in this posture is daunting. In the shock of Sasuke and others, one of the heads of the Akichi opened its bloody mouth. Immediately after, Orochimaru, who disappeared before, now reappears in everyone's field of vision. Chapter 247 _ The Power of God, Susanoo. Looking at Orochimaru's form, Naruto asked involuntarily. Sasuke, do you know what kind of ninjutsu Orochimaru is? I don't know. Sasuke replied affirmatively, although he practiced under Orochimaru's guidance for more than 2 years. But the latter did not teach him too much advanced ninjutsu. The reason is very simple. Orochimaru is also afraid that if Sasuke grows too fast, it will be more and more difficult to get him to obey in the future. Therefore, as a conspirator, he naturally kept his hand. In the animation, Orochimaru and Naruto in Four Tails state battled badly and lost too much vitality. This led to a serious rejection of the body, which allowed Sasuke to suppress it after Orochimaru cast Undead Rebirth. While Sasuke and the others were shocked, Orochimaru's voice sounded slowly. Shiyu, let me have some fun next time. At this moment, Orochimaru has lost interest in the container of Sasuke, and in his eyes, Tokiwa is the only one. Because the latter not only has Jiden magnet style but also has Sharingan. 2 kinds of bloodstain boundary are inexistent existences. Not only that, Shiyu's abilities in all aspects will crush Sasuke. Both ninjutsu and taijutsu are far superior to ordinary people. Therefore, Shiyu is the perfect container for him. If he can get Shiyu's body, he feels that he no longer has to be afraid of Itachi. Shasha, Shasha. Orochimaru, the body of Yaki, wriggled his body and quickly walked towards Tokyo. Seeing this, Yamato was also worried. Naruto, Sasuke. Let's go help Shiyu. Yamato's voice fell, and before he could make any move, it was stopped by Naruto. Captain, don't worry, Shiyu will not lose. I know that Shiyu's strength is very strong, but now Orochimaru is already a non-human body, and its combat power is probably quite terrifying. We can't let Shiyu fight alone, in case. Seeing Yamato hesitating to speak, Naruto said. Not in case. Naruto responded with a sound, and then said, Shiyu has a Hiraishin mark on me. If I really lose, he will teleport to my side. Naruto's idea is very simple, he has regarded himself as a portal. As long as he stays here, once Shiyu is defeated, he can teleport to his side to avoid fatal attacks. And once he's by Shiyu's side, it won't work. Because once Orochimaru casts an area attack, even if Shiyu teleports to him, it's useless. Furthermore, he believed even more that Shiyu would not lose. Because Shiyu was the undefeated god of war in his heart. Not only him, but also Sasuke. Between Naruto's thoughts, Yamato was dumbfounded, and he had heard it wrong at one point. What did you just say? Mark of Hiraishin. Yeah, what's the problem? After being confirmed, Yamato was stunned again. As his elite Jonin, of course he knows what the Hiraishin mark is, it is the spell of Parisian art, the rune mark used for spatial displacement. With that in mind, Yamato asked confirmingly. Naruto. You don't mean to tell me that Shiyu has mastered the 4th Hokage's Parisian technique? Seeing Naruto nodding, Yamato was completely stunned. Looking at that as working with 8 cheetah snake when fighting Shiyu, he seemed to know the latter for the first time. It is also fortunate that he is far away from Shiyu. Otherwise, when he sees Shiyu's Sharingan, he will probably drop his jaw. And when Yamato was shocked, Orochimaru of Yagi's body was already biting towards Tokiha. The huge snake head opened its bloody mouth, trying to swallow Shiyu into its belly. However, in the face of Orochimaru's attack, Shiyu did not mean to dodge in the slightest, instead a slight arc was raised at the corner of his mouth. Obviously, he already had some plans in his mind. Just when Kiba of the white phosphorus Orochi was about to touch Shiyu's body, a golden barrier suddenly appeared on Shiyu's body. Boom! A dull sound came out, and Orochimaru's head seemed to hit a boulder. Seeing that the attack was blocked, Orochimaru was also suddenly shocked. Because the attack of this Oshia Orochi is extremely powerful, even if it were to shatter, the steel would be dented. But now it was blocked by Shiyu forcibly. At this moment, Orochimaru's eyes were fixed on the golden barrier on Shiyu's body. That's a barrier made of chakra. But it's not the most surprising thing. The most surprising thing is that this barrier is like a human rib, protecting Shiyu in it. Looking at the golden barrier in the shape of a rib on Tokiyu's body, Orochimaru and Sasuke's 3 hearts simultaneously raised a doubt. What kind of ninjutsu is this? It is normal for them to have never seen this ninjutsu, because few people in the ninja world today know it. This technique is open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket, and it is necessary to open 2 people who have opened open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket at the same time to gain insight into this power. This power is also known as the power of God! Exclamation mark. But this is only a kind of ninjutsu, not a pupil jutsu. This is also the reason why the later open black lens bracket Madara close black lens bracket can be used even without eyes after being used by open black lens bracket Rinne Tensai, Samsara of Heavenly Life close black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket Y can one eye open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. As for open black lens bracket Obito close black lens bracket Y not? That's because he had one eye on Kakashi when he opened open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. When he entrusted the power of his eyes to Kakashi, the latter understood the ninjutsu instantly. And Kakashi is not eternal Mangekyo, why can 040 be able to open complete body Susanoo? It is because after Obito became 10 Tails Jinchuriki column force, the chakra in the body has been transformed into 6 paths power. There are 5 ways to get the power of 6 paths. First, become 10 Tails Jinchuriki column power, that is, 6 paths mode. Second, have Rinnegan, that is, power of 6 paths reincarnation. Third, have Tenseigan, that is, 6 paths reincarnation power. Fourth, obtain the chakra of 6 paths immortal. Fifth, obtain the chakra of Otsutsuki Kagaya. To put it bluntly, the so-called 6 paths, there is a misunderstanding here. Those who have Rinnegan and Tenseigan must have the power of 6 paths, but those who have the power of 6 paths may not have Rinnegan or Tenseigan. It is open black lens bracket Tenseigan close black lens bracket. Because the former includes power of bloodline, in addition to power of 6 paths. This power of bloodline is Otsutsuki bloodline. Only those who have this bloodline can obtain power of 6 paths. Awakening open black lens bracket Rinnegan close black lens bracket or open black lens bracket Tenseigan close black lens bracket. Initial form of open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. Exclamation mark. Arms and ribs can be arbitrarily changed, with various uses such as attack, defense, protection, control, etc. The body is not completely wrapped by Susanoo, but leaves a large gap. But the defense is enough to resist most attacks. Read 3 things. Chapter 248_Tremble. Full body, Susanoo. Chakra is condensed into an entity, in addition to having a strong control over chakra. And at this moment, the defensive power of the open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket that Shiyu is using is so strong, which is enough to show the power of this ninjutsu. Originally, Orochimaru didn't know where the ninjutsu came from, but when he discovered that Tokiha's Sharingan changed from 3-tomo to spiral dart, he vaguely guessed what it was. This is the ability of open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. You actually know that. Orochimaru was also surprised after receiving Tokiha's confirmation. For him who has studied various ninjutsu for many years, it is not surprising that he knows the existence of Mangekyo Blood Wheel Eye. Orochimaru was defeated by Itachi with open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. He knew everything about open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. While collecting these information and materials, he accidentally discovered that the Sharingan of the Uchiha family seems to have a higher form. This is also the reason why he wants to get Sharingan. What he didn't expect is that Shiyu not only has Sharingan but also evolves to an advanced form. In fact, Orochimaru also had the idea of open black lens bracket Pain close black lens bracket. After all, the latter is open black lens bracket Rinnegan close black lens bracket with the head of the 3 major pupil techniques. The legendary open black lens bracket Eye of 6 Paths close black lens bracket, Orochimaru couldn't help but coveted. It was just that open black lens bracket Pain close black lens bracket was extremely powerful at that time, and one look made Orochimaru lingering in fear. Why he would settle for the next best thing, wanting to embrace open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket first. Moreover, Itachi was only a teenager at that time. He thought he could capture it, but because he underestimated the enemy, he was instantly killed by Itachi's demonic illusion. It can be said that it was the most humiliating battle in his life. However, if nothing else, today will be the second time. Moreover, it will be even more shameful. Although Tokiyu's current age is similar to that when he troubled Itachi, he is now a little bit stronger than when he was in trouble. This art of Yaki is the best proof. In Orochimaru's astonishment, Tokiyu's voice sounded slowly. Since you have guessed it, then I will let you see the power of this technique. Voice fell, and the rib-shaped Susanoo on Shiyu's body began to expand rapidly. From the initial state to the first form. At this time, the Susanoo is shaped like a skeleton, and the chakra completely covers the body, and the defense is further improved. Orochimaru was shocked again when he saw that the barrier of the rib shape had turned into a skeleton that covered his entire body. They obviously didn't expect such an amazing defensive barrier to be only a small part of this ninjutsu. But their astonishment was far from over. Because at this time, the skull form Susanoo changed again, covering the meridians and flesh and blood on the basis of the skeleton, and then put on a layer of armor chakra coat. This state has unlocked the curse seal, may be able to own exclusive weapons and ninjutsu. At this time, the armor form Susanoo was holding Itachi, and the meteorite blade that Jungyu had chosen at the beginning. And this sword's accompanying skill open black lens bracket Tengai Shinsei, heavenly obstacle quaking star, close black lens bracket requires a complete body to use. Because this technique is too powerful, open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket with hand seal. At this moment open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket looks very good. However, the weapon is a semi-finished product. So the power is discounted. No doubt that Tokiha's open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket has entered the open black lens bracket second form close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket in this state can use universal. The long-range attack ninjutsu open black lens bracket Yasaka no Tomo close black lens bracket. A huge tomo similar to the Sharingan pattern and throws it like a shuriken to attack a distant target. It can attack a single target or disperse and attack a wide range of enemies. At this moment, Orochimaru and the others were extremely shocked. They did not expect this ninjutsu to be so miraculous that it could slowly transform into a human form. It is also for this reason that they all thought that the open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket in front of them might not be complete. Sure enough. At the moment when their thoughts arose, Shiyu's voice echoed, "Since we have come to this point, let's take a look at the whole body." Voice fell, and Shiyu's expression condensed, and the chakra in his body surged instantly. This powerful chakra made everyone present palpitate. Because at this moment, it is not only Shiyu's own chakra, but also open black lens bracket 1 tail close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket 2 tails close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket 3 tails close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket 4 tails chakra. Not that Shiyu has to use tailed beast chakra, but complete Susanoo requires extremely powerful eye power. Maintain. The perfect open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket is not the only one that can be used by open black lens bracket Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. The reason why this condition is needed. It's like open black lens bracket Indra, son of six paths close black lens bracket only open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket, but it can open black lens bracket complete Susanoo close black lens bracket. This is because he is strong enough, whether it is chakra or pupil strength enough to maintain a complete body. He has half the power of six paths immortal. In other words, he has half of six paths power, which is enough for him to maintain full body Susanoo. Open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket although it is a ninjutsu. But the eye power required for the taller form. Stronger, because the pupil power. The key factor to maintain open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. As for the later Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Sasuke, etc. Because the blood vessels have faded and the pupil strength is insufficient. Therefore, the open black lens bracket Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket is required to be able to open the open black lens bracket complete Susanoo close black lens bracket. Otherwise, it is estimated that you will be blind when you cast it halfway. And in the later stage, Madara can only cast Susanoo when she has no eyes, but it is just the armor state Susanoo of the second form. Without the maintenance of pupil strength, this is the limit that he can achieve. After all, the ninjutsu Susanoo was bred with Mangekyo Sharingan, so naturally it is necessary. Pupil power. Assistance. Open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket there are a total of 5 forms. Exclamation mark. Open black lens bracket Madara close black lens bracket can be without pupil power. The help of the second form is enough to show the power of the sky. Of course, there may also be a part of open black lens bracket Hashirama close black lens bracket credit. After all, at that time open black lens bracket Madara close black lens bracket had absorbed the power of open black lens bracket Hashirama close black lens bracket. And the reason why Shiyu used tailed beast chakra. Because of the chakra of the tailed beast. An element that integrates the power of 6 paths. Although there are only 4 tailed beast chakras in Shiyu's body now, they can make Shiyu's pupil power to a certain extent higher level, so that he can support full-body Susanoo. However, it can't last for too long. Tokiyu has already tested this in the past 2 years. And Zaiyu used tailed beast chakra. After that, open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket also changed to the open black lens bracket third form close black lens bracket. The weapon in his hand has been fully revealed, and the outside of his armor is also covered with Tengu armor. Although the armor is incomplete, it looks extremely majestic. The power of this form of open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket is already huge, and the consumption of chakra has also increased significantly. Moreover, it is extremely unstable. Not only that, this state consumes pupil power. It is also very large, and it is difficult for ordinary open black lens bracket Mengekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket to maintain this form for a long time. But for Tokyu, there is absolutely no problem in maintaining this form. Shiyu continued to exert his strength. Susanoo is also changing towards the fourth form. Chapter 249 _ The tomb is absolutely empty. Like a god. Sunday is empty. On the messy ground, a huge golden figure has taken shape. Susanoo, which was originally the third form, is now complete and has grown legs. The body of several tens of meters stood there, like a giant. At this time, Tokyu was no longer on the ground, but at the head of open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. Weapons are all condensed for the essence, and they look like the real thing. This form not only improves the ability in all aspects, but also increases the excellent mobility, making up for the original defense gap under the feet. Susanoo in this form can be equipped on the tailed beast as an armor, and use Mighty Susanoo. At this moment, Orochimaru, who is the body of Yagi, no longer has to look down at Tokiha. Orochimaru didn't expect that Tokyu also had such a powerful ninjutsu as master, which could make the chakra cohesion tangible. It is extremely difficult to control such a huge chakra, let alone maintain its stability. However, things didn't end there. Because Tokyu is controlling the fourth form Susanoo to change towards the final perfect body. That the armor of open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket has been continuously improved, his body has been raised a lot, and his head is equipped with a open black lens bracket Tengu helmet close black lens bracket. With wings on the back, holding the Luguang star meteor blade, the dazzling body is like pouring gold. It looks like a god. This open black lens bracket complete body Susanoo close black lens bracket gives the impression that it is a god of war standing between the heavens and the earth, and the powerful breath is overwhelming. 040. Its appearance seems to have stopped the flow of air, causing the surrounding vegetation to bend down. What the god of war is talking about is the open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket in front of you. At this moment, Orochimaru, who is Yaki's body, can no longer look at Tokiha. Can only look up. Not far away, Yamato, Naruto and Sasuke all took a deep breath when they saw this. Not only them, but also the two people in the distance and Sakai. Even though they were far apart, the body that was several tens of meters high was obviously unable to be blocked by trees and mountains. Because of this, the two spit out a sentence at the same time. What is that? The faces of the two of them were full of horror, although they were not at the scene, but they could still feel a powerful oppression. It from a distance makes people terrified. If it is close at hand, they can't imagine what it will feel like. They can't feel it, but Orochimaru in the battlefield is very clear. At this moment, in addition to the deep consternation in his eyes, there was also a look of dissatisfaction on his bewitching face. Under such strong pressure, the human skin mask he made with the deleting face art seemed to be about to fall off. Elimination of face painting ninjutsu. The cold-blooded ninjutsu that takes other people's appearance as one's own has no flaws because it is the face of a real person. This is also the reason why Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't realize that the latter had not reincarnated at the time of Chunin exam. Looking at the incomparably tall open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket in front of him, Orochimaru has already started to retire. Lived in his 50s, he is naturally not a fool. He knows that he should not be an opponent now, and if he does not retreat, only death awaits him. When you revealed open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket, he was already a little bad. It's just that Orochimaru didn't expect that at the time, Shiyu had already surpassed him. At this moment, he had to admit that he was a monster. Be precise, it's the evildoer among the evildoers. Although Orochimaru has the intention of retreating, Shiyu obviously won't let it go. Orochimaru, it's time to end. Voice fell, and I saw Shiyu raising the Luguang Xingyan blade in his hand. With a twist of the wrist, the tiger's mouth vibrated, and it was directly cut off with a knife in the air. The powerful sword light appeared instantly, and before everyone could react. Orochimaru, who was the body of Yaki, was directly cut into 2 pieces by Tokiha. 8 heads were separated from the body, shocking. Although he killed the Yaki Orochi with 1 stroke, Orochimaru did not die. After all, this is just his ninjutsu. However, it is a heaven-defying ninjutsu to smash such a powerful ninjutsu with 1 knife. In today's ninja world, I am afraid that there is no second one. Orochimaru at this time crawling out of the mouth of the chopped snake head, his eyes were fixed on Shiyu on open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket, S forehead, and a feeling of powerlessness arose in his heart. He knew that the current Shiyu was not something he could shake. Just as he was about to use Doden, Earth style, to escape, the entire ground suddenly shook. Then, under his stunned gaze, the land with a radius of 100 meters rose up from the ground and lifted into the sky. This scene also looked at Sasuke and others. Open black lens bracket Doden, Earth style, Tuing Jukong close black lens bracket. This move open black lens bracket ninjutsu close black lens bracket is open black lens bracket Doden, Earth style, Sphere of Graves close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Doden, Earth style, light a combination of weight rock technique. As long as Shiyu has direct contact with the ground, it can be used. Even if he is just standing, Shiyu can pour chakra into the ground through the soles of his feet, which makes this move look very shocking. Seeing the land he was standing in constantly rising, Orochimaru knew that Tokiyu was about to cut off his chance of escape. Damn! How can this kid be so strong? For more than 50 years, Orochimaru has sincerely acknowledged the strength of a person. At this moment, the best way to escape into the earth is not feasible. Therefore, Orochimaru used a second-class escape plan, ready to jump directly from the 100-meter-wide clod in the air. Yamato, who has experience in countless missions, immediately guessed Orochimaru's next intention and hurriedly said, "Naruto, Sasuke. Orochimaru is estimated to be fleeing, we have to keep an eye on it. Now that he is at the end of the shot, we must not let him escape. Otherwise, it is to let the tiger return to the mountain." Hearing Yamato's words, Sasuke and Naruto nodded one after another. Good. Sure enough. Orochimaru closely, the latter shouted. "Shiyu, I admit that you are stronger than me. However, this is only temporary. When I research new results in the future, I will come to find you." Voice fell, Orochimaru stopped talking nonsense, and leapt towards the edge of the suspended clod without looking back. Seeing this, Shiyu didn't move. When Yamato below saw it, he said to Naruto and Sasuke, "Action!" Shoo, shoo, shoo. With the sound of 3 bursts in the air, the 3 of them instantly appeared below the direction where Orochimaru fled. Next second, they were Orochimaru jumping up, but a strange scene happened. Originally Orochimaru was supposed to jump out of the floating clod, but at this time the latter was stuck in the air. As if being blocked by something, it slid down along something and landed on the edge of the floating place. This scene made the 3 of them bewildered. Just as they were puzzled, a raging fire Jinchuriki column appeared on the edge of the suspended clod. Seeing this, everyone came to understand. If nothing else, a forbidden barrier has been set up in the suspended land. Once something touches it, it will activate. If nothing else, this barrier should be set up by Tokiyu. Otherwise, the latter would not have been so calm when he saw Orochimaru slip away. If there is no such backhand, then the previous Doden, Earth-style, Tuling Jukong, will be meaningless. Although I figured it out. But what kind of enchantment is this? Everyone does not know. Chapter 250_Heavenly Fire Barrier. Dragon Fire Annihilation. In the sky, in the air. A 100-meter-wide flame Jinchuriki column soared into the sky, forming a huge cage enchantment. If open black lens bracket Obito close black lens bracket is here at this moment, you will definitely be able to recognize this barrier. This enchantment is called open black lens bracket Uchiha flame array close black lens bracket, which is Uchiha's supreme enchantment ninjutsu. In the ninja world so far, only open black lens bracket Obito close black lens bracket can know. And open black lens bracket Obito close black lens bracket can learn this ninjutsu because of open black lens bracket Madara close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Madara close black lens bracket before dying, taught open black lens bracket Obito close black lens bracket many ninjutsu. This open black lens bracket Uchiha fire formation close black lens bracket is one of them. This is an extremely powerful ninjutsu. By releasing the fire attribute chakra in the 5 fingers, this move can summon the earth's karmic fire and surround the things you want to protect in a circle. It is a dark Yuhi-colored flame, known as the flame from hell. In the animation, even the 8 tails can't do anything, so it can be seen that its defense is amazing. But the problem is that Tokyo is not a member of the Uchiha clan, so he changed the name of this enchantment ninjutsu. Since the name has been changed, the ninjutsu is naturally improved by him. Just when everyone was secretly amazed by this enchantment ninjutsu, a dragon roar suddenly resounded in the sky. Roar. Immediately after, everyone saw that a flame dragon appeared in the flame barrier, and began to circle around the barrier. It seems that this fire dragon is a part of this enchantment. Seeing this scene, everyone is also extremely stunned. However, everything does not end here, because at this moment, a second flame dragon appeared. Just before everyone understood what was going on, the 3rd rule appeared. Then came the 4th rule. The 5th rule. After the 9th flame dragon appeared, it finally stopped increasing. At this moment, 9 fire dragons tirelessly circled around the flame barrier, like the patron saint of the barrier. Roar. They make a deafening dragon roar from time to time, as if to warn others not to destroy this enchantment. This is Tokyo's improved version, open black lens bracket 9 dragons skyfire array close black lens bracket. At this moment, Orochimaru, Sasuke and others are already dumbfounded. There is no doubt that this is the strongest enchantment ninjutsu they have ever seen, no one. Naruto looked at the 9 flame dragons constantly cruising on the flame barrier in the suspended land, and said subconsciously. Sasuke, hit me up. Why? I want to verify if I am dreaming now. Although Naruto believed in Tokyo's strength, from the previous Tokyo's Susanoo, it all gave him a dreamlike feeling. No way. The strength that Shiyu showed was too strong, it was shocking. That's why Naruto was questioned. Not only him, but Sasuke and Yamashita have the same idea. But even though they were far apart, they could still feel the temperature in the air heating up because of this flame enchantment. This is undoubtedly the best proof. Everything in front of me is true. Just when Orochimaru was a little overwhelmed, Tokyo's voice sounded again. Orochimaru, you can't escape. You don't want to break through this barrier. This ninjutsu is much more clever than the 4 purple flame formation that you trapped 3 generations. Words. Orochimaru also recovered from his astonishment. He glanced at the 9 fire dragons above the barrier, and then his eyes fell on Shiyu. Takagawa Tokyo, your talent is beyond my expectations. I didn't expect that in less than 3 years. Time, you have grown to a point that I can't even match. Orochimaru said this without a trace of contrivance, clearly speaking from the heart. Although he has been pursuing longevity and various powers, he has never been afraid of death. What he is unhappy about is the shortness of life. Because of this weakness of human beings, he cannot realize his dream. Thank you for your compliment. However, this still won't change your fate. Hee. Orochimaru chuckled, then said, although I am very unwilling, I also recognize that I died in your hands. But can you answer me a question before I die? You said. Shiyu didn't skimp on Orochimaru's request. This can be regarded as Shiyu repaying his teaching to Sasuke for more than 2 years, although the purpose is impure, but after all, it was calculated by Shiyu. Who the hell are you? You must have checked my information. Shiyu replied nonchalantly, and then said, I'm just a child of a ninja family in Konoha, and my parents died in the incident that EPUB, 9 Tails, attacked Konoha 15 years ago. Flowers 0 inches if you insist on explaining why I am so evil. Maybe as Jiraiya said, I am the reincarnation of 6 paths immortal. Shiyu was talking nonsense in a serious manner. It was obviously impossible for him to tell Orochimaru that Lao Tzu was a transmigrator. Moreover, it also has an artifact system. This answer said that Orochimaru may not believe it. On the contrary, his nonsense made Orochimaru believe it. Whether it is the talent that Shiyu showed before, or the previous open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket, or the current open black lens bracket 9 Dragons Skyfire array close black lens bracket. They all told him one thing: the young man in front of him was very human. Is 6 paths immortal reincarnated? Chanting in Orochimaru, he immediately said, if you are really 6 paths immortal reincarnated, then it is true that my death is not wrong. As Orochimaru's voice fell, Tokyo stopped procrastinating. I saw a seal formed in his hand, and then 4 big characters sounded in his heart. Dragon Fire Annihilation. Then the 9 flame dragons in the 9 Dragons Skyfire array seemed to have received an order. The same time, a huge roar was issued, shaking all directions in turmoil. Roar, 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 roar. It was to see that 9 fire dragons suddenly broke away from the flame barrier. Immediately after, diving towards Orochimaru. Orochimaru was surrounded in an instant, and hot flames spewed out of their mouths. Seeing this scene, Orochimaru became more and more convinced of what Tokyo said. Enchantment ninjutsu can also attack, which is the only thing in his life. As the 9 flames gathered together, Orochimaru also closed his eyes, received this flame funeral. Instant, he was drowned in the sea of fire. Such a high concentration of flame is enough to burn everything. Burn an Orochimaru without any problem. Taking 10,000 steps back, even if it doesn't burn to death, Shiyu still has a backhand. Because this 9 Dragons Heavenly Fire Array is not only a barrier, it also has the power to attack and seal. The 2 abilities of this technique have only been revealed now. And the last ability is the seal technique. You must know that Shiyu took a lot of effort to create this technique. Ninjutsu has 2 functions, and there are only 4 in the world today. Chapter 251 unlock the 5th reward. In the empty space, in the enchantment. At this time, apart from a sea of fire, only a huge Susanoo could be seen. 3 of Sasuke were stunned by the scene in front of them, their eyes fixed on the sea of fire. Obviously, they were curious to know how Orochimaru was after a while. When the 9 fire dragons retreated and returned to the flame enchantment, the sea of fire gradually weakened. Soon after, as the thick smoke dissipated, the area was exposed to everyone's sight. I saw that there was nothing but scorched black. The ground of the suspended land was burned by the powerful flames, and it was sunken, which can be judged from the height of the surrounding soil. No doubt that Orochimaru has been burned to the point where there are no bones left. From this dragon fire, 040. The power of annihilation. No way. Being like Orochimaru can bring him back to life even if he leaves a small snake for him. So if you want to kill the latter completely, you must burn it to ashes. Of course, in addition to burning, corrosion is also a good choice. Or use a simpler and cruder method, that is open black lens bracket Jinten, particle style close black lens bracket. After seeing Orochimaru completely dead, Shiyu also released open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. If Shiyu has a huge chakra as a support, as well as primary sage body, Hashirama cell, and tailed beast chakra, Shiyu will not be able to display complete body Susanoo. And it has continued to the present. Although the current Shiyu can't support it for a long time, this long time does not mean an hour or 2, but a day or 2. The reason why I can only support such a short time is not because Shiyu's chakra is not enough, nor is it because of lack of talent. It is because the power of bloodline is too thin. Although it can be stabilized by the absolute power of 6 paths, the problem is that Shiyu only has chakra with 4 tailed beasts. Moreover, the power of the tailed beast is distinguished by the tail. The further back, the stronger it is. In the animation, half of Naruto's Kyuubi, 9 tails, can rival 6-tailed beasts. Because when the system gave Shiyu Sharingan, it marked the bloodline of the Uchiha clan. So, it is too thin. Open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket is from the bloodline of open black lens bracket 6 paths immortal close black lens bracket, and open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket of open black lens bracket 6 paths immortal close black lens bracket is born out of open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya close black lens bracket open black lens bracket reincarnation Sharingan close black lens bracket. Simply put, open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket relies on the power of the blood of the Otsutsuki clan. Open black lens bracket Indra close black lens bracket the reason why open black lens bracket complete Susanoo close black lens bracket can be activated under open black lens bracket Mangekyo blood wheel I close black lens bracket is because his open black lens bracket bloodline close black lens bracket is pure enough. The purer the bloodline, the stronger the pupil power. That's why Sharingan and Byakugan both merge to evolve to a more advanced state. But the problem is that this fusion is also required, that is, it must be blood relatives with extremely similar bloodlines, that is, brothers. However, Shiyu has nothing of course, even if he has it, it is useless. Because his Sharingan is given by the system, so even if he has 10,000 brothers, it is impossible to awaken Sharingan. Thinking of this, Shiyu also muttered. It seems that eternal Mangekyo is not easy to do. Shiyu only mentioned eternal Mangekyo and didn't want to get blood power. Not that he doesn't want to, but because it's too difficult. Because there is no surviving Otsutsuki clan in the world today, 6 paths immortal has become spiritual body Kagaya. Was sealed on the moon. Could it be that she touches Kagaya's seal and absorbs a bit of her cells or, by another means? It is he who completes all the system tasks, collects the 9-tailed beast chakras, and then merges them into 10 tails chakra, to open the 6 paths mode, thereby obtaining the power of 6 paths. In this way, the complete body Susanoo can be stabilized by absolute power. Or he can directly find the spiritual body of the 6 paths immortal and then obtain its power. But the question is where to find it. Anyway, Shiyu still doesn't know how to get to that spiritual body. The different space in which it is located. I don't know now, but maybe in the future. Although these 3 methods are feasible, they all take time. Of course, you can directly collect the 9-tailed beasts in the ninja world, so you can also open the 6 paths mode. However, Shiyu is not in a hurry. Also, he seems to have a way. That is the system. As Shiyu's thoughts came to this point, the system's voice sounded, "Ding, the mission to kill Orochimaru is complete." Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking the 5th reward. Talent increased by 1,100 times higher chakra. Get the power of King Mu. That is, the chakra and ability of the 4 tails, get 5 lottery machines. Complete Susanoo. This skill, talent, and chakra are secondary. No matter how high it is, it can't make up for it. But after hearing the system's prompt, Shiyu's eyes also showed a glimmer of hope. Because if he can draw Mangekyo upgrade coupon, why can't he draw eternal Mangekyo upgrade coupon? Thinking of this, Shiyu immediately became interested. However, he knew that he didn't know when the lottery was drawn, because there were still 3 people waiting for him outside. Immediately after, Shiyu directly withdrew the 9 Dragons Skyfire array, and controlled the hanging land. Slowly descend towards the ground. Boom! As this loud noise came out, the suspended land also returned to the ground again. Although it is still in the original position, the joint still has a crack that spreads and it is impossible to heal. This is obviously an irreversible process. It's the same as a girl becoming a woman. With the land in the air falling to the ground, Yamato Trio 3 also recovered from their astonishment. They looked at Zero for the first time. 4 is Shiyu, but the place that was previously obliterated by the Sea of Fire. Because they were below, there was no way to know whether Orochimaru was dead or not, but they were all stunned when they looked at the collapsed charred ground. Because they didn't see Orochimaru's body, not even a single bone. The reason for this is not only because of the strength of Shiyu's dragon fire annihilation, but also because Orochimaru has carried out a soft body transformation on his body. The combination of the two made Orochimaru burn to ashes in a short period of time. Staring at the blackened ground for a while, Naruto was the first to break the silence. Tokiha, is Orochimaru dead? Hearing this, Sasuke and Yamato's eyes finally fell on Tokiyu. Although most of them had already been confirmed in their hearts, they needed Shiyu to make the final confirmation. After all, no corpse was seen. Chapter 252-Lost Naruto. Excited Sasuke. Tokiha, is Orochimaru dead? For Naruto's inquiry, Shiyu did not hide it. Dead. The very simple words were spit out from Tokiyu's mouth, but it made Sasuke 3 people excited and shocked. They were excited about was that the evil Orochimaru was finally put to death. What they were shocked was that Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin, was killed by Tokiyu just like that. That's why Naruto and Sasuke looked at Tokiyu with admiration. And Yamato looked at Shiyu with surprise and admiration. He never thought that Shiyu would be so powerful that it surpassed his cognition. Without a doubt. Tokiyu is the strongest person Yamato has ever seen, no one. Originally he thought that this mission would be very difficult, but who knew that all this was in Tokiyu's calculations. After a surprise, Naruto also said, "Excellent. Now that Orochimaru is dead, Sasuke doesn't have to go undercover anymore." Naruto's meaning is that Sasuke can go back to Konoha with them, so that they can be reunited as husband and wife. That's right, Shiyu. You're so handsome that you conjured up an oversized warrior just now. Hearing Naruto's words, Shiyu had already guessed what the latter wanted to do, and said immediately. "What, want to learn?" Naruto nodded heavily, without the slightest concealment. Not only him, but Sasuke's eyes are also full of yearning. Naruto wants to learn just to be handsome, and Sasuke wants to learn to be able to defeat Itachi. Even Yamato is a little bit tempted. However, he was even more curious about what kind of ninjutsu this was, and it was so powerful that he looked at Naruto's excited expression, and Shiyu's next words poured cold water on him. "You can't learn. Shiyu, I know that my hand seal ability is very poor, but I will try my best. I'm not happy if I don't try it." "No way. Open black lens bracket complete body Susanoo close black lens bracket is too shocking. This ninjutsu is unstoppable even by people in their 20s like Yamato, let alone a boy of 15 or 16 like Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto, it's not that I don't teach you. Instead, there must be a prerequisite for learning this ninjutsu, but you don't have this condition." Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto was stunned. "What are the conditions?" "Open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket." Hearing these 3 words, Naruto instantly lost his mind. Open black lens bracket Sharing close black lens bracket is a kind of open black lens bracket blood stain limit close black lens bracket inherited through blood, and it is basically impossible to awaken through the day after tomorrow. Only way is to transplant. But Naruto obviously won't do it. His eyes are intact, even if there is no Sharingan for him. Also, Naruto didn't want to be like Kakashi, covering his eyes all day long. Furthermore, this transplanted open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket cannot be closed. But these are not the point, and even if the transplant is successful, you may not be able to learn this ninjutsu. Because there are too many conditions. It is difficult to open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket, and if you want to achieve open black lens bracket complete Susanoo close black lens bracket, you must obtain open black lens bracket eternal mangekyo close black lens bracket or open black lens bracket power of 6 paths close black lens bracket. It is very difficult for Sasuke to achieve this step, let alone Naruto. Naruto is extremely lost at this moment, but Sasuke is extremely excited. Because he has Sharingan. If he can master this ninjutsu, he thinks he has a 100% chance of defeating Itachi. Shiyu, you mean I can practice now? You don't need to practice this ninjutsu. Tokiyu's answer made Sasuke stunned for a moment, and after a brief thought, Sasuke suddenly thought of something. You mean that this technique comes from Sharingan? Quote. Reason why Sasuke asked this question is because in the 2 years of practice, he discovered that Sharingan has some demonic illusion in addition to the ability of insight and copying. The shackles on Orochimaru earlier. As long as you use the Sharingan to a certain extent, you will naturally understand this demonic illusion. Shiyu nodded, then said, however, there is a second condition. Second. Seeing the doubts on Sasuke's face, Tokiyu also said. When you Sharingan evolves to Mangekyo Sharingan, this spell will appear in your mind. Open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. Sasuke exclaimed in surprise. Yes, this is the next form of Sharingan. When your Sharingan evolves to Mangekyo Sharingan, the pupils at that time are no longer 3 tomo, but a pattern, called Mangekyo. At that time, your eyes will also gain special abilities. For example, the open black lens bracket Tsukuyomi close black lens bracket that Itachi cast on you and Kakashi-sensei at the beginning is the ability of open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. Hearing what Tokiyu said, Sasuke suddenly realized. Because he saw Itachi's eyes change into a shuriken pattern when he was a child, he didn't know what was going on. But after such a point, he finally understands now. But because of this, Sasuke suddenly realized something. Since Shiyu said open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket, this skill can only be understood after starting open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket. In other words, Shiyu's open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket has reached this level. Sasuke's ignorance of this matter is also excusable. Shiyu didn't take the initiative to tell Sasuke, and the latter naturally didn't know. Originally, only Naruto and Jiraiya knew about this, but later there was a Kakashi. Time feather. As you say, you have awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. Shiyu nodded, seeing Sasuke's intention to continue asking, he was the first to say. I know what you want to ask, I'll talk about it when I get back to Konoha. Good. Sasuke replied. He knew that since Tokiha had proposed to him about the open black lens bracket Mangekyo Sharingan close black lens bracket, he would definitely teach him. After reading this, he was also extremely excited. Because of this, his gaze towards Shiyu became firmer, and he felt that he was following the right person. Without Tokiha's presence, he felt that he might have gone to Orochimaru in order to become stronger. So, he was very lucky at this time. And when the conversation between Tokiyu and Sasuke was over, Yamato finally couldn't help but ask. Shiyu, you also have open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. Yamato's gaze between the words still stayed on Shiyu's eyes, because the latter's pupils were obviously black. This made him very puzzled. Moreover, Shiyu was obviously not from the Uchiha family. So why did he have Sharingan? The only way he knew was to transplant. This, he has confirmed from Kakashi. But this method has a disadvantage, that is, the Sharingan obtained in this way cannot be switched freely. But now Shiyu's pupils are black. If Shiyu didn't lie, it means that Shiyu can control open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. This, Yamato had an unprecedented thought in his heart. That is, did Shiyu meet Sasuke, and is also an orphan of the Uchiha clan? As for why Tokiyu's surname is Takikawa, he didn't know. He wanted to know the truth, and only Shiyu could solve his puzzles. However, There is no truth in Shiyu's place. Anyway, serious nonsense. It's Shiyu's specialty. Please download Faye. Chapter 253_Sakai's Betrayal. Dive into the base. Shiyu, you also have open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket. Hearing Yamato's words, Shiyu nodded. Yamato was obviously incomparable astonishment after receiving Tokiyu's confirmation. Seeing the latter's appearance, Shiyu saw at a glance what he wanted to ask next. So, he said actively. Captain Yamato, I am indeed not from the Uchiha clan. But why I was able to awaken Sharingan, maybe because my ancestors had some connection with the Uchiha family. You briefly told Yamato about the nonsense he told Jiraiya and others before. In this regard, Yamato can only choose to believe. After some consternation, Yamato also asked. That's right, Shiyu. Since you have already planned all this, why didn't you explain the situation to me in advance? Yamato was very puzzled by this. If Tokiyu had informed him in advance, he wouldn't have to specify those boring plans. That's because of Sai. Sai. Yamato let out a stunned voice, as if thinking of something. Captain Yamato must know that too. Said was arranged by Danzo in our team. The latter means to protect Naruto's Jinchuriki column power, on the surface, but secretly whether there are other tasks are unknown. Furthermore, Danzo used to support Orochimaru and 4th generation to compete for the position of Hokage. And this time our mission is linked to Orochimaru, but Danzo happened to arrange one to come in. Do you think this is a coincidence? If nothing else, Danzo estimated that he had arranged a special mission for Sai, and this mission is estimated to require Orochimaru's help. Captain Yamato, if we guess wrong, I think Grandma Tsunade also told you to pay more attention to Sai. So, I didn't tell anyone about this. Hearing what Shiyu said, Yamato suddenly understood something. That Orochimaru would take precautions in case the news leaked, and his plan would fall short. In this regard, the best grudge in Yamato's heart was also eliminated. Just after Yamato understood the reason, Yamato's wooden clone rushed over. The latter told Tokiwa's 4 people about the conversation with Kazui Sakai, but he was not very clear about the content of the conversation. Because they were afraid of being discovered, they were separated by some distance. However, after the battle here ended, Sai left. This news is undoubtedly telling them that Danzo does have other tasks assigned to Sai. After hearing the news, Naruto was the first to express his opinion. No wonder I always find that guy unpleasant, so it's not a good bird. Where are they going back? Yamato muttered, it should be Orochimaru's base here. Hearing Shiyu's answer, Yamato asked, how do you say it? As soon as the battle on our side ended, the two of them left. It's because that guy can't sense Orochimaru's breath, he must think that the latter has slipped away. Hearing Shiyu's analysis, Yamato nodded and said thoughtfully. If that's the case, we have to catch up quickly. Otherwise, once you notice an abnormality, you'll run away. Tokiyu nodded, then looked at Sasuke. After realizing Shiyu's gaze, he said, follow me. Only Sasuke was present who knew Orochimaru's position at the base here, and he was undoubtedly the best candidate to lead the way. The voice fell, and Sasuke took the lead. 3 of Shiyu saw this, they also followed closely. Soon after. The feeling of returning to the research base is a little uneasy, because Orochimaru has not returned. There are only 2 possibilities for this to happen. First, Orochimaru has fallen. Second, Orochimaru Maru didn't choose to come back here. The reason is very simple, because Sasuke also knows this place, so he can't go back here and wait for Tokiyu and others to come to the door. I thought about it, I had noticed it in my mind. So his eyes turned to Sakai, as if he had thought of some countermeasures. At the same time, under the leadership of Sasuke, the 4 Shiyu 4 also felt this research base. Sasuke pointed to an intersection ahead and said, It's here. Seeing this, Yamato looked at the surrounding terrain and said involuntarily. It's quite hidden. If Sasuke didn't lead the way, it would be difficult for us to find this place. Not that Yamato looked down on himself, but Orochimaru didn't know some forbidden enchantments around him. It's easy to get lost in this kind of stuff. Next up, Shiyu's group of 4 did not delay, and entered the base directly. After searching in the base, Shiyu and the others found no trace. There is no accident, this guy should have slipped. He can become the little prince of spy, and his mind is indeed not better than ordinary people. Knowing that something was wrong, they immediately withdrew. Although they didn't find it, they found Sakai. Obviously, this is double insurance. He wanted to use Sai to hold Tokiha and the others in order to buy himself time to escape. Anyway, Orochimaru's whereabouts are unknown now, and although Sai was sent by Danzo, it doesn't mean much to them anymore. I'll talk about things in the future, the most important thing right now is to save lives. Squeak. But after a door was opened, Sakai, who was holding a picture album, was also slightly taken aback. Quote. Of Anbu under the direct jurisdiction of Hokage, he found me so soon. It was also at this moment that Sakai realized something. That's why he was sold. The latter let him rest here temporarily. He went to see what happened to Orochimaru, but the latter slipped away and left him as a shield. Sai, tell us the details. As soon as Yamato's voice fell, Naruto's impatience couldn't help it. The leader rushed to Zuo-jin, and when he raised the collar of the latter, it was a question. Say, why did you betray us? In the past few days of getting along, Naruto felt that although he still hated him. Sakai, this guy. However, we can still get along with each other. After all, everyone is Konoha's ninja and works for Konoha. But now the latter's betrayal, this fact really makes him unacceptable. Being held by Naruto like this, there is still a smile on Sakai's face, answering irrelevant questions. Looks like the Kabuto guy has run away. Sai, it's Danzo's order. Yamato said something, and then said, Danzo teamed up with Orochimaru, so one person was selected to facilitate the cooperation between the two parties. And that person is you. Hearing Yamato's words, Naruto also echoed, what are you trying to do? Do you want to join forces with Orochimaru to destroy Konoha again? As Naruto's voice fell, Sakai spoke again, and there was still a smile on his face. I don't know if it was unintentional or intentional. No, it's not. HMPH, we knew you were smirking right away, so we knew right away that you were lying. Naruto wrote. When you find me, my mission is already a failure. Because I can't solve you all by myself. Since you all already know so much, there is no need for me to hide it anymore. Hearing Sakai's words, Yamato, Naruto and Sasuke were also slightly taken aback. It seems that everything is as Shiyu said before, and the guy in front of him is indeed carrying other tasks. But as for what task they are still unclear. Chapter 254_Fetters. Incite defection. Shock. After knowing that his mission has been exposed, Sakai no longer hides. You guessed right. Our purpose is to destroy the current Konoha. Hearing this, Naruto was the first to shout. What did you say? To destroy Konoha and Orochimaru teaming up, it's my real mission to be in charge of making them work together. After hearing Sakai's truthful confession, Yamato questioned. Go ahead and explain everything you know. Of course, I'm also responsible for telling Danzo-sama about Orochimaru. In other words, I'm also on a spy mission. Sakai's voice fell, and Tokyo finally spoke up. On the one hand, you want to unite with Orochimaru, but on the other hand, you don't want all the benefits to be taken by the latter. So if you are prepared with both hands, you will be able to take the lead. It is estimated that Danzo thinks Orochimaru is unreliable and fears that he will betray you after destroying Konoha. Shiyu, you are really smart. No wonder even Orochimaru is counted by you. Sakai, who was talking, admired Tokyo. Of course, if he was told that Orochimaru had died Tokiyu, he would have been shocked beyond measure. Yamato questioned after clearing up the tricks. This plan should be so important to Danzo that he only sent you on such a dangerous mission. That's because he appreciates my ability, so he sent me to perform this task. Because the information I write with ink will turn itself into a small animal, that kind of small animal can protect itself and send information. The most important thing is that I only obey orders. Sakai still had a smile on his face between the words, and he didn't panic at all because the matter was revealed. Hearing Sakai's words, in addition to Tokiyu, Yamato, Naruto and Sasuke were all stunned. They obviously didn't expect that Sakai would be such a person without self and emotion. In other words, he is like a machine. The reason why he is like this is because of the influence of open black lens bracket shin close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket shin close black lens bracket, Sai's brother. He is by far the person who has the greatest influence on Sai. The former Sakai was kind and simple, and when he was forced to fight with Shin, the latter planned to let Sakai kill himself on purpose, but because he was seriously ill and his body could not support it, he did not succeed. In order to let his younger brother live a good life, he told Sakai to forget his feelings. It is also because of this that Sakai became completely emotionless and became a machine that can only perform tasks. Senses, it was Naruto's mouth that was the first to break the silence. Sai, do you know what you're doing? If Konoha is thrown into war again, there will be a lot of deaths. Konoha ninja dying in Naruto's head between the words, especially an old grandpa. He is open black lens bracket 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen close black lens bracket. That funeral was undoubtedly the pain of everyone in Konoha, and Naruto obviously did not want the tragedy to repeat itself. For Naruto's angry accusation, Sakai still did not change his face. May I tell you one more thing? Actually, apart from this matter, Lord Danzo also asked me to pay attention to you Tokiyu, and the name Sai was obtained by Lord Danzo asking me to perform these 2 tasks. So, I'm not anyone. I am the hands and feet of Danzo-sama, I do not exist. So, what you say to me is useless. Words, Naruto said, why did Danzo ask you to pay attention to Tokiyu? I don't know, I'm only in charge of the mission. Naruto was very angry with Sakai's answer, but Yamato answered Naruto's question for the former. It's probably because I saw she use potential. Potential. Naruto muttered. Maybe Danzo wants to take Shiyu for his own use, or maybe he's making some wishful thinking. The real purpose, only Danzo himself knows. Yamato's analysis is indeed reasonable, and Danzo does have this idea. However, it is estimated that after research, I will see if I can use it for my own use. However, because the current Danzo does not have much real power in Konoha, he can only secretly accumulate power. He is waiting for a suitable opportunity, an opportunity to win the position of Hokage in one fell swoop. That's why he has never thought of moving Tokiyu until now. After all, Tokiyu is now Konoha's man of influence, and Tsunade and Jiraiya's apprentice. He doesn't want his years of preparation to burn. Even if he knows that Shiyu has Sharingan, he will endure it. Who achieve great things naturally have to learn to be patient. Just when everyone was helpless about Shin's indifference, Shiyu's voice sounded again. Sai, you said you don't exist, so why do you keep holding the picture book in your hand? Quote. Sakai didn't know how to respond. Seeing this, Shiyu continued, the 2 teenagers on the cover are you and your brother. This is enough to prove that you exist in this world, and it also proves that you once had feelings. Even as a ninja, it is impossible to completely abandon any emotion. Unless he's a puppet. But you are not, you are a flesh and blood being. This is why you can't abandon this picture book. For you, this is the last token of your memory of your brother. It represents the bond between you and him. Hearing Tokiyu's words, Sakai fell into deep thought. Yamato also said, Sakai, I know you are a member of Gen, and I also know that Danzo has given you special training to suppress your emotions. This kind of special training is like the way of killing each other in the Kurigakure village in the country of water. It is said that several people in Ninja Swordsman 7 were selected through this method. Your brother is you. Yamato had not finished speaking, but Sakai interrupted. You got it wrong. I originally wanted to give the picture album to my brother, but when the picture album was about to be completed, my brother died of illness. Although we are not related by blood, he often compliments my paintings. Root's members are basically children who lost their relatives in the war, and among the countless children, only my brother and I are brothers and sisters. Even if he is now, he has not changed. A second after Sakai's voice fell, Tokiyu said slowly. This is the bond. Fettered. Yes, it's like the three of us. While talking, Tokiyu glanced at Naruto and Sasuke, and Tokiyu naturally had to work hard if he wanted to turn against Sakai. Hearing the words, Sakai was stunned for a moment, and his eyes swept over the three of Shiyu. Seeing you guys makes me feel like I can't get rid of the bond between me and my brother, so I decided to take a moment to learn about your bond. Hearing Sai's answer, Tokiyu felt that his plan was successful. This mouth escape was finally in vain. Sasuke's voice also slowly sounded between Sasuke, Naruto and Yamato. Time Feather. What are you going to do next? Are you continuing to search for Orochimaru's trace? Don't look for it. Tokiyu's answer made Sai stunned for a moment. He finally caught Orochimaru's trace. Did he just give up? Just when he was so doubtful, Naruto said. Orochimaru is dead. Hearing this, Zuaojing was startled for a moment. The result was obviously beyond his expectations. You must know that Orochimaru is the legendary Sannin. If the latter is so easy to kill, it is impossible for him to retreat after destroying Konoha's plan of action. At this moment, his eyes could not help but fall on Shiyu. If Naruto's words are true, then he thinks that the person who killed Orochimaru may be Tokiyu. Because before, he had seen Tokiyu blow Orochimaru hundreds of meters away with a punch. It shocked him deeply. Moreover, the battle scene in the back is even more shocking. Although it is far apart, it can still be felt. At the time he didn't know who did it, but now he has guessed the answer. At this moment, he seemed to understand why Danzo asked him to pay attention to Shiyu. Chapter 255_New Plan. New team members. Orochimaru is dead. Hearing Naruto's words, Sakai's eyes also fell on Tokiyu and Yamato. Seeing this, Yamato also nodded. That's why Sakai finally confirmed this fact. After a while, Sakai finally recovered from his shock and asked again. What about Yakushi Kabuto? Hearing this, Yamato also replied, now that the latter doesn't know where to flee, trying to find him is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Indeed it is. For a spy who is good at stealth, eliminating all means of tracking is a basic ability. Therefore, it is too difficult to find it out. For this reason, Yamato decided to temporarily end this mission. For now, let's go back to Konoha first. For Yamato's proposal, neither Naruto nor Sakai had any objection. But Sasuke, who had not spoken before, spoke up. Wait. What's your problem? For Sasuke, Yamato is quite unfamiliar. Although they had heard it before, today was undoubtedly the first time they met. Sasuke's eyes swept over Yamato, and then looked at Tokiyu. Shiyu, do you still remember the thing I mentioned to you before? Ah, you've decided. Seeing Sasuke nodding, Shiyu also said, all right then. Since you have made a choice, then I respect your decision. Tokiyu and Sasuke said. Yamato and the three of them were stunned. Seeing this, Naruto asked immediately. Shiyu, what are you two mumbling about? Sasuke will not be returning to Konoha for the time being. As soon as Shiyu said these words, Naruto, Sakai and Yamato were stunned, and they obviously didn't know the reason. Obviously Orochimaru has been killed, Why didn't Sasuke go back to Konoha? Is it because he was used to staying here in Orochimaru and was reluctant to leave? Why is this? Naruto asked. That's right, Sasuke intends to secretly investigate the information of the Akatsuki organization. Hearing Shiyu's words, Yamato couldn't help but mutter. Undercover. Yes. Tokyo nodded, and then said, since Sasori has known about the news that Sasuke was kidnapped by Orochimaru, the other members of the Akatsuki organization must know Akatsuki as well. And Sasuke stayed with Orochimaru as an undercover agent according to my plan, but in the eyes of the Akatsuki organization, Sasuke is undoubtedly willing to stay. Since it is willing, it means that the current Sasuke is Konoha's missing nin in their eyes. Also, Sasuke's thoughts on Itachi Akatsuki must be known to Akatsuki. So, let Sasuke use the identity of Konoha's missing nin to find Itachi as an excuse, so that they will not be too vigilant. Maybe they can secretly detect the information of the Akatsuki organization. Hearing what Tokyo said, Yamato Trio 3 finally realized. Time feather. Even if this tactic is feasible, the Akatsuki organization is so powerful, it's only possible to rely on Sasuke's strength alone. Regarding Yamato's concerns, Shiyu said. You can rest assured about this. The goal of the Akatsuki organization is people Jinchuriki, column force, and there is little interest in Sasuke. Besides, I'll keep in touch with Sasuke as always. Yamato, who heard the words, also nodded, feeling that what Shiyu said was reasonable. Although Naruto didn't want Sasuke to do this, he knew that Sasuke wanted to defeat Itachi for revenge. He can understand this feeling, and that's why he didn't speak out against it. However, no objection doesn't mean he doesn't worry. But Tokyo, as Captain Yamato said, the Akatsuki organization is so strong, what if Sasuke is in danger? Naruto's voice fell, and before Tokyo could answer, Sasuke took the lead. Why, you don't believe in my strength? Sasuke, I don't believe in Sasuke's strength. And the Akatsuki organization is really strong, and I saw it with my own eyes during my mission to rescue Gaara this time. Those people are really strong perverts. You might have no problem dealing with one, but if you have two, it's too dangerous. If you don't believe me, you can ask Shiyu. Hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke's eyes also fell on Tokyo. Not only them, but also Yamato et al. In fact, Naruto said it well, with Sasuke's current strength to deal with the weakest member of an Akatsuki organization is quite difficult. There is no doubt about this. In the animation, Sasuke can defeat Deidara entirely because of attribute restraint. Knowing the gazes of several people, Shiyu said. Naruto said it well. Every member of the Akatsuki organization is really strong, and their strength is basically comparable to Orochimaru. Maybe some are weaker, but some are stronger. Hearing this, Naruto said, so, I think it's better to forget about it. In order to reunite the husband and wife, Naruto can be said to be extremely dedicated. Naruto, when did I say I was alone? Sasuke said. Flowers 0 inches not a person. Sasuke nodded, and then said, I have already identified three candidates in Orochimaru's base, and they all have special abilities. We will form a 4-person team of 4 to investigate. Even if we encounter members of the Akatsuki organization, we will still have the power to fight. Despite what Sasuke said, Naruto was still a little worried. But, however, before Naruto's voice could fall, Shiyu interrupted it. Naruto, don't worry. I'll teach Sasuke something before he leaves, so there's no danger. Shiyu responded with a sound, and then looked at Yamato. Captain Yamato, look how good this is. I may be out with Sasuke for a while. You and Sakai will go back to Konoha to report the situation to Grandma Tsunade. If those words came out of someone else's mouth, Yamato probably wouldn't agree. But Shiyu is different, the latter looks like a genin on the surface. But in fact, whether in brains or strength, Shiyu is unparalleled, and even he is ashamed of himself. If Shiyu was asked to be the captain, he probably wouldn't object. All right. Yamato echoed, but the next second he suddenly thought of something. What about Naruto? Hearing this, Shiyu smiled lightly, his eyes fell on Naruto, and said, "This guy is definitely going to stay, let him have a good time with Sasuke." Naruto was stunned for a moment, then he smiled and said, "Shiyu, you know me best, hehe." In fact, Shiyu had another plan to do so. Since he is going to try to help Sasuke open Mangekyo Sharingan during this time, then Naruto's Rasenshuriken is also taught by the way. So as not to waste time in the future. After the decision was made, Tokiyu was not in the ink, and said to Naruto and Sasuke, "You two wait for me here for a while, and I'll send Captain Yamato and the others." Good. Naruto and Sasuke nodded, they obviously knew what Tokiyu wanted to do. Using the Hiraishin art to send Yamato back to Konoha is a matter of minutes, but Sai and Yamato don't understand the mystery. Time feather. We're not children, so we don't have to send it. Hearing Yamato's words, Sakai also nodded. However, Shiyu's next sentence made the two of them stunned. "I mean sending you guys back to Konoha for." Chapter 256 Shizune's heart. Tsunade's mind. Send us back to Konoha. Yamato let out a stunned look, and his face was full of puzzled expressions. Of Grass was quite a long way from Konoha Hidden Village in Kingdom of Fire. Not only him, but Sakai also had the same doubts at this time. Seeing Shiyu nodding, Yamato and the two became even more puzzled, not knowing what was in Shiyu's gourd, and in the midst of their doubts, Naruto said, "Captain Yamato. If you sometimes sends you off, you won't have to rush back to Konoha." "Don't rush." Hearing Yamato's remarks, Naruto reminded again. "Didn't I tell you before that Shiyu can Hiraishin's art?" Yamato was slightly taken aback when he heard the words, but in the next second, he immediately understood. 040. Come here. Shiyu, you mean to send us Konoha with the Hiraishin technique? Nice. Sakai on the side was listening to the conversations of several people, and his heart was once again filled with waves. He obviously didn't think that Julian's fourth Hokage's specialty skills were masters. Although he didn't see it with his own eyes, he believed it. The fact that Shiyu was able to kill Orochimaru is enough to show his extraordinary strength. He had created such a big battle before, so Master Hiraishin's art is nothing unusual. His thoughts were the same as Yamato's. Between Sai and Yamato stunned, Tokiyu said again. "Captain Yamato, Sai. You grab my hand." The two who heard the words immediately came back to their senses, and then without any unnecessary nonsense, they each held Shiyu's hand. Immediately after, with the movement of Shiyu's thoughts, the three of them disappeared into the base under the eyes of Sasuke and Naruto. Next second. Konoha open black lens bracket Hokage office close black lens bracket three figures suddenly appeared at the door. They are Tokiha, Sai and Yamato. Looking at the familiar surroundings, Sai and Yamato were still in shock. Doubt in their hearts before, then now they completely believe it. Just as the two of them were shocked, the words that suddenly came up were that the two of them pulled out of it. "Shiyu, why are you here?" Hearing this, Shiyu's three people's eyes followed. What caught my eye was a woman in a long black coat, with short black hair that was a perfect match. This woman is none other than Shizune. At this time, the latter's face is full of astonishment, because according to the time, today is the one they hid in Orochimaru at Tiandi Bridge and Sasori. Only the spies meet. Could it be that the mission has been completed? Shizune knows that Master Shiyu has flying technique, and the latter only has this explanation here. I have to say, Miss Shizune is still very smart. Sister Shizune, guess what? Shiyu said with a smile. He and Shizune have been fighting quite hotly in the past 2 years. Especially when Shiyu grew into an adult model, Shizune's heart that had been suppressed for a long time began to beat again. Seeing Shiyu's attitude, Shizune had already guessed the result. Come and report the situation to Tsunade. Tokiyu nodded, then looked at Sakai. Sai, are you going to report the situation to Danzo now, or are you going to see Hokage with us? Although Tokiyu has turned against Sakai, he is still a member of Open Black Lens Bracket Root, Close Black Lens Bracket after all, and he belongs to Danzo's direct subordinates. You are not afraid that I will tell Danzo all your secrets? People. Hee. Shiyu smiled lightly, and then said, you would know it before today, but now you can't tell. You are so confident. Sakai said again. That's because your feelings have sprouted again, and those who have feelings will keep secrets. Of course, it doesn't matter if you say it. Since I choose to let you know, I won't care about that. Hearing Shiyu's words, Sakai was also slightly taken aback. I have to say, Shiyu's move is really wonderful, throwing all the problems to Sai. If he wants to witness the bond between Shiyu and the others, he may even have this bond. We'll be conservative for Shiyu, or avoid the important and light it. I see. Sakai responded with a sound, then turned and left. Seeing this, Shiyu did not forget to add a sentence. Sai. No matter what choice you make, you're part of Kakashi, even if it's just for 7 days. Hearing the words, Sajing's expression suddenly froze, and the steps under his feet stopped. After a long silence, Sakai's voice also sounded slowly. Thank you, Shiyu. Words fell, Sakai took another step forward, and then disappeared from the sight of Tokiyu and others. Yamato couldn't help asking. Shiyu, do you think he will tell Danzo everything he knows? Who knows? Even though Shiyu said that, he already had the answer in his heart. After Sai was about to witness the bond between Tokiha and the others, his heart was already shaken. Now that Shiyu has poured this dose of chicken soup for the soul, the indifference in his heart has been completely shattered. Immediately after, Shiyu and the two entered the Hokage office with Shizune. Tsunade was stunned when he saw Tokiha and Yamato. Obviously, she didn't expect Shiyu to come back so soon. Even though she knew that Shiyu Master's Hiraishin's art, the efficiency was too fast. After a brief chat. Next, Yamato, the temporary captain, gave Tsunade a brief account of what happened. And when Tsunade and Shizune learned the news of Orochimaru's death, they couldn't keep calm any longer. You must know that Orochimaru has always been a potential hidden danger and a cancer of Konoha. Now that this cancer has been removed, they are naturally happy in their hearts. But while they were happy, they were also extremely surprised. Because they didn't expect that Shiyu had grown to the point where he could kill Orochimaru, who was the legendary Sannin. When Jiraiya did not learn Open Black Lens Bracket Sage Art Close Black Lens Bracket, Orochimaru was undoubtedly the strongest existence among the three of them. 0. Today Orochimaru was killed by you, doesn't it mean that Tokiyu's strength is higher than Sannin's? This cannot make them shocked. Of course, in addition to surprise, there is also joy and ecstasy. Of their Konoha Yuyu will surely be able to prosper even more. With the contact with Shiyu, today's Tsunade likes Shiyu more and more, and this kind of love is no longer so simple as Shiyu continues to grow up. This is why Shizune's heart is shaking again, and why Kurenai Yuhi and Anko have been in frequent contact with Shizune in recent years. In addition to being powerful, it is natural to have personality charm. Because Shiyu is beautiful no matter what he does, it makes them feel a sense of admiration from the bottom of their hearts. And when Tokiha and Tsunade reported about Sasuke, Sakai also returned to the base of Open Black Lens Bracket Root, Close Black Lens Bracket. At this moment, there was an old man standing in front of him. It was Danzo. Chapter 257_choice. The New Yellow Flash. Open Black Lens Bracket Root, Close Black Lens Bracket in the base. Danzo condescendingly looked down at Sakai, who was kneeling on one knee, and his icy voice sounded slowly. I didn't expect you to screw up the mission, Lord Danzo, because it happened for a reason. Oh, then you gave me a reason enough to convince me. That's because Orochimaru is dead. As soon as Sai said this, Danzo's old face without waves finally had waves. He never imagined that Orochimaru would die, but he did and think Tokiha, Naruto and Yamato did it. Because in his opinion, the three should not have this strength. Dead. Danzo murmured, then asked, do you know who killed him? It was killed by Shiyu. You mean Toki Takagawa? Seeing Sai nodding, Danzo's heart that was rippling suddenly turned upside down. Orochimaru is alive or dead, he doesn't care at all. Although the latter is stronger, there are people who are stronger than him in this world. Also, Orochimaru has offended many people for his research, and his death on Tuesday and death is also acceptable. This is also 16 reasons why Danzo wasn't too surprised when he heard of Orochimaru's death. But now Sai is telling him that killing Orochimaru turned out to be a genin. He knew that Tokiyu's strength should be very strong, but he was already strong without the latter. You must know that Orochimaru is one of the legendary Sannin. Even if he is not sure to kill him, but now it was done by Tokiyu. Can this not surprise him? Sakai, you saw it with your own eyes. From Danzo's words at this time, it can be heard that there is still a doubt in his heart, and he does not want to believe this fact. This is also understandable. In exchange for this, anyone who does not know Shiyu's knowledge of the news will also be suspicious. No. Sakai responded with a sound, and then said, I was guarding at the time, so I didn't see it with my own eyes. Then how did you determine that Orochimaru was dead? Danzo continued to ask, as if he had found a horn that could be drilled. There was an earth-shattering battle, and then it was said that Orochimaru's chakra could not be sensed, so the matter, but when it fell to Danzo's ears, it changed a bit. Since you didn't see it with your own eyes, this news is not necessarily true, maybe it was a trick they used to fool you. Or Orochimaru escaped, but they didn't notice it. Danzo analyzed it for a while, and his magnificent heart was relieved a little. He didn't want to believe this fact until there was solid evidence. Oh, that's right. Looking at the time, didn't you just arrive at the Tiandi Bridge today? Why are you back now? That's because of the Hiraishin's art. Open black lens bracket. The art of Hiraishin close black lens bracket. Danzo, who was talking about it, felt a little turbulent in his heart just now. Open black lens bracket. The art of Hiraishin close black lens bracket. He has not heard this exact word for 15 years, because he has not heard anyone learn this open black lens bracket time and space ninjutsu close black lens bracket in these 15 years. Three figures flashed in Danzo's mind, Shiyu, Naruto and Yamato. The face that was fixed in his mind was neither Tokiyu nor Yamato, but Naruto. Danzo basically understands the details of Yamato, and he is unlikely to learn the Hiraishin art. Of course, it does not rule out the possibility that the latter learned by chance. As for Shiyu, Danzo thinks the latter is so possible, after all, his talent is there. However, it made him think that the most likely one was Naruto. Most people don't know the secret for 15 years, but as the leader of Open Black Lens Bracket General, Close Black Lens Bracket, he knows it very well. In addition to being Open Black Lens Bracket Kyuubi, Nine Tails Ren Jinchuriki, Column Force Close Black Lens Bracket, Naruto is also the son of Open Black Lens Bracket 4th Hokage Close Black Lens Bracket. Although not many people know this secret, he definitely knows it. Because the art of Hiraishin is the famous stunt of 4th generation, maybe he left Naruto something before his death. And Naruto and Jirai went out to practice for more than 2 years, and it is possible to learn this Hiraishin art. Why he thinks it's Naruto? That's why Danzo asks affirmatively, is it the Jinchuriki column force of Kyuubi, Nine Tails? No. Seeing Sakai shaking his head, Danzo was also taken aback. He obviously didn't expect that he would guess wrong. But Yamato? No. As Sai shook his head again, the waves in Danzo's heart became more and more turbulent. Obviously, this result greatly exceeded his expectations. Since both Naruto and Yamato were ruled out, the four of them would only be left with Sai and Tokiha in front of them. Sakai's ability is clear to him, and there is no master Hiraishin art. Then the answer is obvious. Just when Danzo thought there was a possibility of someone else appearing, Sai's words shattered his suspicions. Danzo-sama, it is not Akigawa Takiwa who knows Hiraishin's art. I and Captain Yamato were sent back with him, I can attest to that. After being confirmed, Danzo seemed to be thinking something under his rolling eyes. However, the flickering surprise could not be hidden. For 2 years, he felt that Shiyu was not simple, but he did not expect the latter to be so pervert. Even it silently learned the art of Hiraishin of the 4th generation. At this moment, Danzo suddenly thought of something. Maybe 2 years ago, the subordinate who shot and killed Tokyo to monitor Tokyo was not Jiraiya, but Tokyo himself. If that's the case, this child is too scary. Just as Danzo was muttering in his heart, Sakai's voice sounded again. "Zero Danzo-sama, I have a request." Danzo, who heard the words, was slightly taken aback, and then asked, "What request?" "Allow me to temporarily stay in the Kakashi class with the name Sai." "Do you want to continue to observe Shiyu?" Sakai nodded, not lying. "I think so too. However, Sai, you must understand that feelings will attract hatred, and hatred will lead to war." "You may be right." Sakai responded with a sound, and then said, "So, I want to witness it myself." "That's it, you step back." "Yes," flashed in Sai's eyes when the voice fell, and then disappeared in front of Danzo's eyes. Although Sakai told Danzo most of the things, he did not tell Sasuke anything. Obviously, he did hide some things. However, this was also because Danzo didn't ask him, and this was a response to Tokyo. After Sai left, Danzo looked into the distance, not knowing what he was thinking. After a long time, a word slowly spit out of his mouth. "Takagawa Tokiha, will you be the next Yellow Flash?" However, Danzo never imagined that the current Takiwa is much better than Namikaze Minato. Because the two are no longer on the same level. And to be precise, Shiyu is Yellow Flash. Chapter 258_West Secret. Ghost Light Water Moon. Konoha, Hokage Office. Talked about Sasuke to Tsunade, and he agreed with Tsunade's proposal. Although Jiraiya has already gone to investigate the information of the Open Black Lens Bracket Akatsuki Close Black Lens Bracket organization, no one knows what progress can be made, so it is undoubtedly a good choice to advance with the dark line of Sasuke. Grandma Tsunade, then it's settled. Seeing Tsunade nodded, Shiyu said, "Then I'll go first." Shiyu said goodbye to the 3 people present, he stopped talking nonsense. As his thoughts moved, his figure disappeared. With Shiyu's departure, Yamato also sighed with emotion. This ninjutsu is really convenient for traveling. The premise is that you have to know it. Tsunade responded with a sound, and then said, "How is it? How is the thing I asked you to pay attention to?" Needless to say, Tsunade was clearly referring to Sai. Immediately after, Yamato also briefly told Tsunade about Sai's real mission on this trip, and how his attitude began to change later. "Tsunade-sama, I don't think there's anything that Toki can't handle." Shizune rode. "Shizune, why do you keep saying nice things for him lately?" Shizune was stunned for a moment, then quickly explained, "Master Tsunade, what I said is the truth, don't you think so?" "That's right." Tsunade responded lightly, then looked at Yamato and said, "I hope that the kid named Sakai will be able to play for Konoha like you in the future." Because Yamato used to be Danzo's subordinate, he was later turned against by Kakashi and became a member of Open Black Lens Bracket Anbu Close Black Lens Bracket directly under Hokage. Now, Sakai's situation is almost as good as he was in the past. For this reason, Yamato hopes that Sakai can have a brand new start like himself. At the same time, Orochimaru Research Base, thousands of miles away, in the Kingdom of Grass, Tokiha's voice reappeared in Sasuke and Naruto's field of vision. Seeing Shiyu appear, Naruto also complained. Shiyu, why did you go for so long? We won't be going back to Konoha for a short time, I have to report to Grandma Tsunade. Naruto was stunned for a moment, and then said, that's true, otherwise, Grandma Tsunade would be worried. Immediately after, Shiyu's eyes also fell on Sasuke, and he said, lead the way. Sasuke nodded, and immediately opened the way. Orochimaru has 4 research bases in the Kingdom of Grass, which are divided into 444 secrets, east, west, north and south. Sasuke originally stayed in the east secret place, and he has been tossing around in these 444 base secret places over the past few years. So, he knew who those who were imprisoned were. Because he already had today's fight, so when he stayed in various bases, he had already identified candidates. It's like this secret of the West that he likes a person, the funny comparison of the Ghost Clan. Of Sasuke, the 3 of Tokiwa went to an experiment. There are many large glass containers here, which are big enough to hold a few people. And some of these glass containers are empty, full of water, and some of them still have life in them. Some people, some animals, and plants are filled with various tubes above the glass container, which looks like a large, petri dish. After a while, Sasuke stopped in front of a glass container filled with water. Seeing this, Naruto also asked in confusion. Sasuke, why did you stop? Didn't you say you were looking for someone? Hearing this, Sasuke's eyes were still fixed on the glass container filled with water in front of him, and he said, it has been found. Hearing Sasuke's words, Naruto became more and more satisfied. Bored. He thought that Sasuke had stayed here for a long time at Orochimaru, and his brain was hilarious. Or, Sharingan is overused, what's wrong because they only have a glass container in front of them, and there is no other than water in this glass container. Naruto didn't know the reason, but Shiyu knew it. No doubt that the glass container in front of you is exactly open black lens bracket ghost lamp shueyu close black lens bracket. As a member of the open black lens bracket ghost lamp clan close black lens bracket, the latter can use a kind of open black lens bracket sweeten, water style close black lens bracket secret technique to make his whole body, or it is a partially liquefied hydration technique. Water style is a kind of ninjutsu that understands sweeten water style very superbly. Even if a person is water, water is a person. The secret ninjutsu can turn the body into a liquid state, making it immune to physical attacks. The weak point of the technique is the Raiden Thunder style ninjutsu, and the paralyzing effect of Raiden Thunder style will make it unable to fully liquefy. Just as Naruto was confused, an unfamiliar voice sounded slowly. Since you are here, it means that you have defeated Orochimaru. Hearing this, Naruto suddenly felt a creepy feeling. There was obviously no one else around, but a strange voice came into his ears, which was truly eerie. Who is speaking? Come out quickly, don't play tricks there, anger me so you can't eat Kabuto and go away. Hearing Naruto's clamor, a laugh followed suit. I said Sasuke, you are the coward you got from there. Don't talk about that, I'll let you out first. Voice fell, and Sasuke pulled out a open black lens bracket grass pheasant sword close black lens bracket inserted in his back. Under Naruto's astonished gaze, he waved towards the glass container in front of them. Kang, Kacha. With a cracking sound, the surface of the glass container cracked a huge hole. Immediately after, the water in the glass container also kept flowing out of it, but the strange scene happened again. I saw that the flowing water actually gathered under their feet, and there was no sign of dispersing around. After the water in the glass container was completely drained, a head appeared in the water that gathered at the feet of Tokiyu and the 3 of them. Seeing this scene, Naruto suddenly exclaimed. Damn it, damn it. Naruto, who was talking, ran behind Shiyu in an instant, which made him calm down. In his heart, Shiyu seems to be able to subdue all the demons. The next second, the gaze of Shiyu and the three of them, Shueyu exposed her upper body. I saw his gaze fell on Shiyu's body at this time. To be precise, it was the exposed half of his head behind Shiyu. Seeing Naruto's frightened appearance, Suzui said another sentence. Coward. It was also at this moment that the fear in Naruto's heart instantly dissipated into nothingness. Originally, he thought it was a ghost, but it turned out to be a boy about the same age as him. White hair, purple eyes, and sharp Kiba teeth. So it's you who is doing the trick. Naruto, who was talking, immediately jumped out from behind Shiyu, and said angrily. You are timid and blame me. You. Why, are you going to fight? Just as Naruto was about to retaliate, Shiyu was the first to speak. You are from the Ghost Lantern clan, right? When Shiyu said these words, Shueyu looked stunned. His gaze returned to Shiyu again, and for the first time he looked directly at Shiyu. Not many people can see through his origin at a glance. What's more, the Shiyu in front of him didn't look like a ninja with rich experience, just a teenager who was almost the same as him. Because of this, he became interested in Shiyu. Chapter 259 _ Full Moon of Ghost Lights. The Art of Hydration. When Shiyu guessed her clan, Shueyu was slightly taken aback. Oh, you actually know who you are. You are now using the water transformation technique. This ninjutsu is a secret technique passed down from generation to generation by the Kurigakure village ghost lamp clan in the land of water. This is one of them. Secondly, I also know a little about Ninja Sword 7 People and 7 People. Your appearance is very imaginary with Ghost Lantern Full Moon in the second batch of Ninja Sword 7 People and 7 People. I heard that he seems to have a younger brother named Ghost Lamp Shueyu. If I'm not wrong, this person is you. Shiyu's remarks directly exposed all the details of Shueyu, which made him look shocked. Because it was the first time they met, but the latter actually judged his identity based on a few details, and even who his surname was and where he lived. Could it not surprise him? Seeing Shueyu like this, Sasuke and Naruto was also dumbfounded. Because the former's expression undoubtedly told them that everything Shiyu said was the truth. Shueyu didn't think of the two people that Sasuke brought, one was dumb and the other was extremely smart. It was also because of Shiyu's remarks that he felt that the young man in front of him, who was almost the same age as him, had a sense of incomprehensibility. At this moment, Shueyu became more and more interested in Shiyu. I said, Sasuke, where did you find these two? They are my teammates. Sasuke said. Oh, it turns out that the two of them are your friends in Konoha that you mentioned to me in 040 before, but they are also your teammates. Why are they so different? Tokiyu gave Suzuki a good impression, but Naruto was far behind. Recalling Naruto's fearful appearance before, he couldn't help but want to laugh now. Hearing the words, Naruto looked at the water moon gathered in human form and couldn't help but drink it. Exhibitionist, what did you say? It's what you think it is. Shueyu didn't make an inch, but his words were still a bit mean. However, this is his character. He is relatively simple, psychological, can't hide his words, likes to be pompous, easily impulsive, and a little timid at the same time. The most important point is, I'm afraid of trouble. At this moment, Sasuke's voice sounded again. Water Moon. You are the first, we are going to the next stronghold now. I'm the first, who else is there? Shueyu was puzzled. I'm looking for two more, Chongo from North Secret and Karen from South Secret. No way. What's the matter, what's the problem? Sasuke said. Nothing. Shueyu responded and immediately said, it's just that I don't have a good impression of them, so I'm afraid that I won't be able to get along with them. Hee hee. You don't need to live in harmony, it's enough to help me. Hearing Sasuke's words, Shueyu said, because you helped me escape from this damn container, so. As long as you speak, of course I am willing to help you. However, I think there is something wrong with the two people you chose. Sasuke's expression remained calm when he heard the words. He was naturally the special of the two of them, Shogi Karen. Sasuke chose them because of their particularity. And while Sasuke was silent, Shueiyu's voice sounded again. Also, don't you already have two teams here? Between the words, Shueiyu's eyes fell on Shiyu and Naruto again. At this moment, he is very puzzled. Sasuke clearly left Konoha. Why is he still hanging out with Tokiyu and the two of them now? Moreover, their relationship seems to be extremely good. There is no conflict, bitterness and estrangement because Sasuke defected to Konoha and was willing to submit to Orochimaru. They're not going with us. That's right. Although I don't know the reason, Shueiyu doesn't seem to intend to ask. Seeing Shueiyu no longer asking, Sasuke also said, "Don't talk about those useless things, put on your clothes quickly." Haha, so cool. Voice fell, Shueiyu flashed behind Sasuke in an instant, and then placed her index finger against Sasuke's head. Undoubtedly, the tone of Sasuke's order made Suzuki a little uncomfortable. Sasuke is a genius, isn't he? Otherwise, he wouldn't be caught by Orochimaru for research. When he was young, he was called Ghost Rebirth. A genius like him is naturally a little arrogant. Put it bluntly, it is unwilling to be subordinate to others. If Sasuke's answer does not satisfy him, he may use his own ninjutsu. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style, water and iron cannon art close black lens bracket. One of the secret ninjutsu handed down from generation to generation by the open black lens bracket Ghost Lamp Clan close black lens bracket. The hand is made into a pistol shape, and the liquid like a bullet is shot from the tip of the index finger to penetrate the enemy. Seeing this scene, Shiyu was unmoved at all, because he knew that Shueiyu's move was just to test Sasuke. If Sasuke panics in any way, he is not qualified to assist him at all. And Tokiyu also wanted to see Sasuke's decision in the face of this situation. After all, after he returned to Konoha, the latter would have to walk by himself. Of course, once Shueiyu really has the intention to kill, he will immediately killed on the spot. His little brother, whoever wants to kill can kill. Shiyu chose to watch the play, but Naruto couldn't help it. Exhibitionist, what do you want? I don't want to do anything, I just want to confirm the relationship between me and Sasuke now. Suzuki responded to Naruto, and then said, Sasuke, don't think that you can ride on my head by defeating Orochimaru. Actually, everyone is waiting for the opportunity to start. Someone like Orochimaru will die at the hands of someone sooner or later, it's just your luck. Because you are more in line with him. So not only are you not under house arrest and surveillance, but you can also stay by his side. So, you have a better chance than us. So what? Sasuke said lightly. As Sasuke's voice fell, Suzuki's index finger that touched the former's temple also withdrew. Just kidding. This doesn't make you panic. It seems that you didn't kill Orochimaru by luck. That way I'm relieved. However, Sasuke's next sentence made Shueiyu look startled. Sorry to disappoint you. I didn't kill Orochimaru. Shueiyu, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, glanced at Shiyu and Naruto, and then said. Even if you kill it together, it depends on your strength. No. Orochimaru's death has nothing to do with me, he was killed by Tokiyu alone. As soon as Sasuke said this, Shueiyu was completely stunned. The person who killed Orochimaru was someone else, and it was a name that was extremely unfamiliar to him. Anyway, among the 4 secret places in the Land of Grass, he has never heard of such a person. Also therefore, at this moment, Shueiyu was thinking about who was the holy grail of Shiyu, who was able to kill Orochimaru by herself. Seeing Sasuke's serious face, it didn't seem like he was lying, and he couldn't help but ask one more question. I said Sasuke, that Shiyu in your mouth is there. The person who can kill Orochimaru must be a good person. I really want to meet this person. Sasuke heard the words and said bluntly. Far in the sky, close in front of you. Shueyu was stunned again, rubbing her chin and falling into contemplation. Next second, I saw his eyes lit up, and his eyes instantly fell on Naruto and Shiyu. After a slight comparison, his eyes finally locked on Shiyu. Apparently, he has found the answer. Fei Lu reminds you. Chapter 260-Ninja Guardian. New little brother. You killed Orochimaru. Shueyu stared at Shiyu stubbornly, and then confided in her heart. His voice just fell, and before Shiyu could answer, Naruto on the side was the first to speak. That can be fake. Sasuke and I witnessed that battle with our own eyes. Do you still want to question this exhibitionist? After the Tao of Suzuki was confirmed, Suzuki finally began to pay attention to Tokiha. He didn't expect that there was such a person among Sasuke's teammates. No wonder he always thought Tokiyu was a little unusual just now. The real murderer who killed Orochimaru. I heard that Teacher Peach was defeated by your team, and now it seems that he is not wrong to lose. Hearing Shueyu's emotion, Sasuke said. Have you made up your mind? Since Shueyu promised, I will definitely do it. Shueyu responded with a sound, and then said, but before that, do I want to detour to a place? ... Hearing the words, Sasuke frowned, not knowing what this guy Shueyu was paying attention to. He originally wanted to ask, but Tokiyu, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke up again. No need to go. No need to go. Shueyu repeated, and then said, do you know where I want to go? If my guess is correct, you want to retrieve the weapon, broken sword and beheading sword, of Peach Land No Slash. Shueyu, who heard the words, was completely stunned. If Shiyu saw through his origins earlier, he was stunned. Then it should be dumbfounded now. After all, he performed the water rejuvenation technique earlier, and this ninjutsu can be said to be the iconic ninjutsu of their Ghost Lamp clan. He and his brother Ghost Lamp Full Moon are indeed quite imaginative, and they are recognized as being within the acceptable range. But this time, it can be said that he was seen through without warning. Could this make him dumbfounded? How did you know? Hearing Shueyu's words, Sasuke and Naruto were also stunned. He obviously didn't expect Shiyu to be right again, and couldn't help but admire Shiyu more and more in his heart. That kind of worship makes them unable to turn back on the way of the younger brother. The 7 ninja swords of Kurigakure village are guarded by you Ghost Lamp clan, from generation to generation, and the guardian of the previous generation is your brother Ghost Lantern Full Moon. I heard that he can skillfully use 7 ninja knives. It is rumored that he is a prodigy loved by ninja knives, and he is also a genius of your Ghost Lamp clan, for nearly 100 years, but it is a pity that he died young. As his younger brother, you are also a rare genius in the Ghost Lantern clan. Naturally, you will follow your brother as an example and become a new generation of ninja sword guardian, reviving the prestige of the ninja sword. This was originally a conjecture I made based on your personality. Until you mentioned Teacher Land, just now, I was basically certain. It's all right. Shueyu was still a little confused between the words. He knew that Shiyu was very smart, but he didn't expect to be so smart. Sasuke, your teammate is too awesome. Shueyu's praise fell, and before Sasuke could answer, Naruto spoke first. Bullshit, no bullshit can kill Orochimaru. That's right. This was the first time that Suzuki did not refute Naruto, because he had already convinced himself. Sometimes convincing a person does not necessarily require force, but wisdom can also have the same effect. This is why in any world there is a coexistence of civil and military. Even if we advocate force, literature is not far behind, and if literature is admired, force will not be lonely. After some consternation, Shueyu also said. Shizui, right. Since you have guessed what I want to do, why don't you let me go? Shiyu, who heard the words, didn't have any unnecessary nonsense, just a space scroll. Bang! Shiyu summoned something from the space scroll, and they heard a sound of metal falling to the ground. Kang. Next second, a huge big knife was reflected in the three people's field of vision, and there was a round hole on the black knife. When they saw this big sword, all three of Shuiyu were startled, because they were not unfamiliar with this big sword, especially Shuiyu, who was the guardian of the ninja sword. At this time, his eyes were bright and his expression was very excited. This is the decapitation sword. At this moment, they finally understood the meaning of Shiyu's words earlier. It turned out that the decapitation sword was already in the latter's hands. Is this answer satisfactory? Satisfied, satisfied. Between the words, Shuiyu nodded heavily, and then directly pulled up the decapitation sword. Wow, it's so heavy. This is the decapitation sword of Kurigakure village's blood mist will never kill again, is really unusual. Dang, Sasuke also said when Shuiyu slammed the decapitation sword lightly on the ground with some effort. Can you use it? Ninja sword, although we are guarded by the ghost lantern, but according to common sense, the swords of ninja swords 7 and 7 have been passed down from generation to generation. Every ninja sword has a suitable owner. As long as this person is a ninja from Kurigakure village, our family will not interfere. If there is no suitable inheritor, our family will take it back and keep it temporarily by the guardian. And the second batch of 7 ninja swordsmen and 7 congregations has only 3 people, so the remaining 4 ninja swords are hidden in my brother's space scroll. I only worked hard to cultivate because of my longing for 7 people and 7 congregations. After hearing what Shuiyu said, Tokiyu said, this is the gift you promised to be Sasuke's teammate. If you perform well in the future, this knife can also be given to you. Words fell, and 2 double knives appeared in Shiyu's hand. Shuiyu's expression was startled again when she saw this. 2 swords. Naruto and Sasuke don't know this sword, but Suzuki, who is a member of the ninja sword guardian family, cannot fail to know it. This is open black lens bracket Thunder Blade Kiba close black lens bracket. Nice. Shiyu responded with a sound, and then said, this is what I got from Kurosuke Rai Kiba. Open black lens bracket Kurosuke Rai Kiba close black lens bracket, is he not dead? Shuiyu said in surprise. Dead. Nodded and explained. Kurosuke Rai Kiba is the first member of the Ninja Swordsman 7, he left shortly after returning to the village in the Third Ninja War. Flowers 0 inches. Then this knife appeared in the hands of one of our open black lens bracket Raiden, Thunder Style, close black lens bracket Genius open black lens bracket Ringo Amayuri close black lens bracket in open black lens bracket Kurigakure village close black lens bracket, so we concluded that open black lens bracket Kurosuke Rai Kiba close black lens bracket should have died. And this sword was brought to ultimate in the hands of Ringo Amayuri, and she also became the second batch of Ninja Swordsman 7 and 7 members. But it's a pity that this guy died young, and died of a serious illness shortly after becoming a Jonin. Originally, our family wanted to recover this knife, but we found that this lightning knife Kiba has long since disappeared. Hearing Shuiyu's words, Shiyu had a bold guess. It is estimated that open black lens bracket Kurosuke Rai Kiba close black lens bracket is not dead. When he learned that open black lens bracket Ringo Amayuri close black lens bracket is seriously ill and will die soon, he quietly came back and took the sword, and then completely stayed away from open black lens bracket Water Kingdom close black lens bracket. This was the battle of the Kawano Country Grass Gold Mine. Tokiyu shared his guesses and encounters with Kurosuke Rai Kiba, with Suzuki and others, and they also felt that she feather guess is more reasonable. 0 Since this matter is not the main point of their concern, they don't care what the truth of the matter is. Big knife, so high. Because he doesn't have lightning attribute chakra, he can't use this knife. This is where Shuiyu is more depressed. When Shiyu saw Shuiyu's appearance, he said, it seems that you are not very interested in this knife. If that's the case, then this promise is void. Ah no. Shuiyu responded quickly, and then continued, although I can't use this knife, it's good to be able to take it back. Although he can't use the 7 ninja swords as skillfully as his older brother, Ghost Moon, this does not prevent him from becoming a new generation of ninja sword guardian. But if Shiyu thinks about it, it is not impossible for Shueyu to have lightning attribute chakra with his current ability. Just that the current Shueyu is not worth it. Glancing at Shueyu, Tokiyu looked at Sasuke. Sasuke, keep this knife first. When you feel that Shueyu is competent and makes you satisfied, you will give him this knife again. Sasuke didn't have any doubts about Shiyu's words, and put away the Thunder Sword Kiba under Shueyu's reluctant gaze. Okay, let's go find the second one. Sasuke nodded and started leading the way again. Seeing that Sasuke, who has always been arrogant and conceited, was so obedient, Shueyu was dumbfounded for a while. Because he has never seen Sasuke behave like this. Because of this, his interest in Tokiyu has become more and more curious. However, what he didn't know was that when he had this idea, he had already stepped into the path of the younger brother. If it was someone else's place, there is still a way back. But here is Shiyu. We'll only get deeper and deeper, go further and further, and eventually become hardcore boys like Naruto and Sasuke.